the ground and through. Adam Eaton scores J.B. Shuck, and the Sox surge back from 7 runs down to win it in 12. What a victory!
The Sox emptied the offensive cabinet last night. High emotions at U.S. Cellular Field. The Sox clawed back from their biggest deficit to win in 14 seasons. Divisional wins or premium wins. The Sox are trying to ride that wave of emotion tonight in Game 2 of 3 against the Tigers. Cloudy night here in Chicago. The Sox and Tigers scheduled to play on time, though. Two teams close in the division. Sox at 500. The Tigers are 1 game over. Good evening. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. We color coordinated for the Bulls' anniversary of their 6th championship. Steve, the Sox lineup changed last night for the better.
I think it was the best thing that Robin's done in quite some time, because now he's got a bona fide number 1 to go with a bona fide number 2, and it paid dividends late last night. In a situation that cried out for a sacrifice, good technique by Tim Anderson. He got the job done. J.B. Shuck going to third base. Then through a drawn-in infield, Adam Eaton collects his 4th hit of the night, driving it into center field, and that's a stirring comeback. An unbelievable comeback, an improbable comeback, but that's one the Sox dearly needed, and they got it late last night.
Well, part of the catalyst of that comeback was Jose Abreu, who's really turned it on recently.
I think he started to run by hitting a 2-run homer when it was 7-0. And Jose's been hitting everything in sight. The last 10, hitting .410 with 3 home runs, 9 driven in, 7 multi-hit games. He's driving the ball all over and now hitting it out of the ballpark. And he's going on to be the huge run producer we've seen the last couple of years. You have to love what you see from Jose, and now the rest of the guys have got to pick it up also.
What's on the hill tonight, Stoney?
We've got a battle of veteran right-handed pitchers. Miguel Gonzalez going to the mound. Last start against the Nationals, he was awfully good in 6 innings. Jordan Zimmerman, who beat our Sox last time he saw him on June 3rd, going to the mound. He's undefeated lifetime against the Sox. His ERA 1.83. He came over from Washington, where he was very good. Career-wise against the Tigers, Miguel Gonzalez has struggled. However, he's throwing the ball as well as he's ever thrown it. He's got a good curveball. He's been getting it over the plate, and that split change has worked wonders.
He was in the bullpen very briefly. Now back in the starting rotation. Gonzalez and Zimmerman to tangle tonight. It's a human one. Game 2, Tigers and Sox coming up.
in Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Discover more in a Toyota. Brought to you in part by Toyota. Discover more in a Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com or your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Audi. Truth in engineering. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV.
Very timely rain tonight. It came and went, and first pitch is just around the corner. Sox and Tigers in their second game of 3 at U.S. Cellular Field. Sox trying to give the Tigers back their own medicine after a sweep at Comerica Park early this month. Sox are 2 wins away from that sweep. They won 10-9 last night in comeback fashion, and Miguel Gonzalez takes to the hill to face a Detroit lineup that has hit the ball very well this year. 7th best batting average in Major League Baseball, and a couple of changes today. Kinsler stays in the 1 position all the way down to 6. McCann is in for Saltalamacchia. Andrew Romine plays center field. Victor Martinez still out today.
Let's take a look at the defense and how Robin is going to line them up tonight. Melky Cabrera, Adam Eaton, Avisail Garcia in the outfield. Tyler Saladino getting a start at third base with Tim Anderson, Brett Lawrie, and Jose Abreu. Alex Avila is behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Miguel Gonzalez. He's 1-1. This is his 8th start, his 9th game. His ERA a touch above 3.5. 34 strikeouts and 40 1/3. Hasn't done well against the Tigers' lifetime, but tonight, because he's throwing the ball well, is hopefully a much better night. The umpires for the game tonight. Quinn Wolcott behind the plate. The crew chief, Paul Emmel, is at first. Pat Hoberg at second, and Mark Carlson is at third. Last night, one of the great comebacks in Sox history, trailed 7-0, top of the third. Largest comeback since June 28th of 2002 against the Cubs. Adam Eaton with his walk-off single. Season-high 16 hits and 4th time. 10-plus runs in a game this year. The offense is coming to life. So they've thrown the ball around the infield, which means we're ready to play baseball, and it's overcast night, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner. So, Jason, take it away.
Great to see you as always, Tony, and great to have everybody along tonight for Game 2 of 3 as the Sox try to get back over 500 against this Tigers club, which came in having won 8 of 11 in the month of June. So Miguel Gonzalez against Ian Kinsler, who's having a fantastic season. And a first pitch off the plate, ball number 1. A note on that game in 2002, that large comeback the Sox had. Paul Konerko 4 hits that day. Royce Clayton 3 hits that day. Starting pitchers Dan Wright and Kerry Wood. Saladino at third, knocks it down, picks it up, and cleans off Kinsler for out number 1.
You just saw the biggest difference with Saladino moving from shortstop to third base, and that is at third, you can afford a bobble as long as you stay in front of it. Gets up, makes the play, retires a good base runner in Ian Kinsler.
So Saladino, who played his most significant time at third base in his career last year with the Sox, with 60 games there after just 5 in the minors ever, gets his first chance tonight, and 1 down for Iglesias. Here's ball number 1. What have you liked from Miguel Gonzalez through his Sox tenure so far?
As a starting pitcher, what I've really liked is, number 1, his mound presence. He looks absolutely like nothing affects him. I think he throws the ball on both sides of the plate. Throws a lot of strikes, especially with his off-speed stuff. The changeup has really come along and added a new dimension to his pitching. And because he's a veteran, he's seen a whole lot of things and doesn't seem daunted by any of them.
High fastball 1-2 on Iglesias, who's hitting .245, but is 5 for 11 career against Gonzalez.
It's one of the changes that Brad Ausmus made. He's taking Iglesias and putting him second in the lineup.
2-2.
Original product of the Boston Red Sox, as you look at the skipper, Brad Ausmus. Never had managed anywhere before getting his job with Detroit.
Former major league catcher, as so many managers are.
For a long time. Quality major league catcher.
Close pitch. Iglesias spoiled it foul. Still 2-2. Well, the Tigers ran out to that lead last night 7-0 with 3 in the first, 3 in the second, and 1 in the third. But the Sox immediately put 2 runs up in the home third on that Abreu homer you talked about. And Brad Ausmus saw his bullpen eventually give up the lead and the game. Ripped into left center field by Iglesias. Eaton slides to knock it down, but Iglesias chugs into second base with the 1-out 2-base hit.
Even if Adam comes up with that one cleanly, he's not going to stop Iglesias from hustling into second base. So he has his 9th double. It rained up until game time, so it's going to be some wet turf. This ball gets away, and unfortunately, you've got to face Cabrera with a runner in scoring position where he normally is very tough.
Guy who's hit right-handed pitching very well this year at .333. Lefties just .172.
That's an amazing number when you think about one of the league's best hitters.
He signed out of Venezuela at age 16. He's been playing since the year 2000 in pro ball.
Got an enormous bonus for a 16-year-old, so everyone in baseball knew he could just flat out hit. The question was where he was going to play, and it turned out he can play anywhere. Play the outfield, play third base, now shifting across to first base.
Iglesias trying to draw the attention of Gonzalez. It's 0-2 on Cabrera.
Look at those numbers. 2,002 games. 320, 420 on the home runs. 506 on the doubles. Runs batted in and hits. All he has to do is stay healthy. He will get to the magical 3,000 hit mark. And because he can play hurt, and he plays hurt all the time, he should make it there rather easily.
He almost picked up the ball there. He's the 7th active doubles leader in Major League Baseball.
He has a good time playing the game, and his former teammate behind the plate, Alex Avila, probably mentioned to him, "How'd you like that one, pal? Get used to it. You'll see a few more before it's over," because he saw Alex take a tremendous beating behind the plate as a member of the Tigers.
Iglesias at second, 1 out. Tigers' first inning.
Probably more than anybody around, in run-scoring situations, Miguel Cabrera will look to right and right center field. He's a huge man. He's 6'4". They list him optimistically at 240. I have to figure he's a pound or two over that at this point.
Well, with the rain, too. Get drenched.
Weighs him down. A lot of humidity.
1-2. Fouled off again. Boy, Avi Garcia is playing very deep in right field. He's a couple of steps away from the bullpen.
I think he probably figures, and justifiably so, with the wet going out there, he can come in a lot better than he can go back. So thinking that you can live with a single, you just as soon not give up a 2-base hit. He is back there.
Pitch number 14 of the first inning. Down with a breaking ball, 2-2.
Here's the outfield hits, and you see he uses right field better than most, and most of those are in run-scoring situations, realizing that as a big man and a strong hitter, more times than not they stay away. Plus, he has a great ability to take the inside pitch inside out and take it to right or right center.
Foul ground, first base side, and out of play.
Tried to heat him upstairs and throw it by him. He got just a little piece of it.
There's Nick Castellanos, who had 7 at-bats last night, 12-inning affair. He played such a strong third base yesterday, he DHs this evening.
He was remarkable at third, and the most amazing part about it is Brad Ausmus, in close games late when they're ahead, still takes him out defensively at third for Romine.
2-2. Gonzalez to Cabrera. That stayed up, and Miguel Cabrera slams it to left field. Iglesias scores. Cabrera is out at second base.
Now, Cabrera might have thought he made it, or he's asking Pat Hoberg if he could just sit here for a bit while he takes a break. But Melky Cabrera is as accurate a left field arm as there is in the league, and this off-speed pitch, it's a straight change, it stays up. Miguel knew he made a big mistake, and Cabrera didn't miss it. So there's the run, and there's Melky getting to it. Accurate throw, and guns him down. He is out at second.
The Sox may prefer that Brad Ausmus use his challenge on that one, so that would expire for the game.
Yeah, nope, not to happen.
Two down, one in. Castellanos takes a strike. Well, folks were with us late last night. They saw Greg Sparks, the Sox assistant hitting coach, have fun with telephones in the Sox dugout. He had all 3 telephone boxes open, one to the press box, one to the video room, and one to the bullpen. They were all ringing at the same time.
I think he figured, look, if I answer enough of them, I am eventually going to get who it is I would like to talk to, or conversely, who would like to talk to me.
So what it is that when you pick up one of the phones, it just automatically rings to the other line. You don't have to dial a number or anything like that. So he picked up the wrong phone the first time, rang somebody else. The other phone was ringing. Then they called back, and then he picked up the third phone. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that'll do it for the Tigers in the first inning. They grab a run, that's all. Bottom 1, Tigers by 1. In the open, that stands for 2 games in a row now. Anderson and Eaton at the top of the card. Todd Frazier gets the day off, so Saladino is in at 9. J.B. Shuck right before him DHing in the 8th position tonight.
Let's take a look at the defense and how Brad Ausmus is going to line them up. Upton, Romine, and Martinez left to right with Aviles, Iglesias, Kinsler, and Cabrera in the infield. James McCann gets a nod behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is highly paid free agent Jordan Zimmerman. On for his 12th start. He's 8-3, his ERA 3.30. Not going to strike out a whole lot of people. Not going to walk many. And he's basically a fastball slider pitcher with just the occasional curve.
A Wisconsin native. Auburndale, Wisconsin. Jordan Zimmerman. Anderson left center field. It gets down, and he's got a chance for 2, maybe 3. He slams the brakes. Tim Anderson with a smoke shot on pitch number 2.
He got a curveball. It was down and out over the plate, and Zimmerman, who doesn't throw many curves, got burned on this one. Tries to take a little something off, and Anderson able to stay back. You can get out on the front foot, but you have to keep your hands back. Romine, who is not a center fielder. Romine is a versatile player, but he doesn't have the speed of a center fielder, and so that could come into play. Even if he catches a ball, Anderson's going to wind up at second.
So he does have the double. And a bunt for Adam Eaton, a good one. Eaton is safe, it's down the line. Anderson comes around to score, and the Sox 1-2 punch is on the board early.
That most likely is going to be base hit, E5. Adam Eaton, knowing he's going to get Anderson to third base, it's a terrific bunt. The infield is wet. Aviles comes in throwing a wet baseball and throws it away. And Anderson seeing the ball get away, going to score the tying run. That's exactly what you want out of 1-2. And I said it before the game last night, a great move by Robert, because Adam Eaton can play the 2 spot to perfection. Now with Tim Anderson up, you got speed at the top, and you got some guys who can make contact, which is what you're looking for.
Up and into Abreu, ball 1, and Adams said after the game that he feels like the 2 spot fits him best as well.
There's no doubt to me, because he can pull the ball when he has to. As you see, he can bunt, he will make contact, and he's willing to take a pitch. Anderson's going to steal some bases, and Adam can take a pitch.
in the air right field for Abreu. Martinez the catch. Eaton the tag. And he's into third, standing up. Rapid fire offense. We are picks to click. 4 batters deep tonight. Tyler Saladino for the Crew. Steve takes Adam Eaton, clubhouse leader, and JB Shuck on this side of the booth. You don't want to change your pick, do you?
No, and I believe, because as valuable as that bunt was, tying up the ball game early, this one, actually, we should discontinue this particular one, award the prize early, and just put picks to click to bed.
Well, just click it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of it.
No bias there. Melky Cabrera takes ball 1. Melky 4 extra base hits in his last 6 games. He's at 290 after a 3 for 6 yesterday. Infield in for the Tigers. You know, some managers don't like to go infield in so early in the game.
I think in this case, I mean, if you had a man at first, it would be different. A man at second, it would be different. But he doesn't have to worry about the big inning. You bring him in to make sure that you don't fall behind early. And worst case, it's a base hit.
Zimmerman has missed up when he's missed so far tonight.
Last 7 games, it's been all Melky. Not only offensively, as you see at 407, but the defense. Melky's thrown him awfully well from left field. 5 runs batted in, 5 scored. Pretty impressive.
2-2 on Melky Cabrera, whose lone career hit against Zimmerman was a double.
Well, this should set up pretty well, because Zimmerman is not a strikeout pitcher. McCann caught one. Well, would you call that the upper thigh?
The deep upper thigh. Juan Uribe, white courtesy phone. Right field. Martinez misjudged it. Here comes Eaton. The throw is not there. Offline. Eaton slides in safely. 2-1.
J.D. Martinez had everything going for him on that play. In that he was coming forward, so he had all the momentum coming toward the plate. The throw is up the line, and Adam Eaton going to the back of the plate, able to beat the play. He flashes by him, the call by Quinn Wolcott, and probably the thing that got him in, the one mistake as you look at Adam with a great slide to the plate, was that J.D. Martinez caught the ball on the left side of his body. And if you're a right-hand thrower, you catch it on the left side of the body, you've got to bring it across your body. If you catch it on the right side of your body, you can make the throw more easily. And certainly more quickly.
Strike 1 to Laurie. I mean, you'll see fielders take those slow steps forward. He was in a full run prior to the catch.
I think the wind was batting it back. I mean, you can see the flags. They are blowing in, so although it swirls around, it looked like the wind was knocking that down, and J.D. had all the best of it. But again, catching it on the left side and having to move it across, that's one step. That's one step that Adam scored.
So the Sox get 2 runs in the first inning. Spearheaded by the Anderson double and the Eaton bunt. Right field again for Martinez. And the final out of the inning, but the Sox grab 2 to lead the Tigers. Anderson and Eaton pair up for a 2-run first.
look forward to Miller time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. And how about a little speed?
How about it? And how about a little knowledge from Dan Hayes, our White Sox insider all season long on CSNChicago.com, presented by The Great Escape, pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, and more. And Dan Hayes, escape your everyday. Shop The Great Escape.
I think lately Dan Hayes has been at the top of his game. He's come up with some terrific information.
Is that to say there was a low bar before?
Well, I thought he was struggling for a bit, but I think that he's got his rhythm. I think he's in good shape now.
Well, he came here. It's a foul tip. Strike one to Martinez. He came in here wearing a shirt and tie the one time too. That was pretty high level stuff.
Well, I thought that made him look very good, and I would believe even on the hottest of days he should do that.
You're an insider. You got to look like an insider.
Which, by the way, you did remind me not to wear long sleeves today because it was going to be 1,000% humidity. Thank you.
One and one. So the Rolling Stone that gathers no moss only does so when the humidity is lower.
It's warm.
You're gathering moss in the corner.
True. But so far, it's very pleasant that Sox have broken out on top, and we are playing baseball instead of having a tarp-covered field.
Breaking ball to Martinez. He hammers it left center field and past Eaton. Up to his old tricks, J.D. Martinez had hits in his first 3 at-bats last night. Here, he plugs a double to start the second inning.
This is not one of Miguel's better pitches. That's a curveball that kind of rolls in the middle of the plate, and J.D. Martinez is swinging it too well these days to miss. So he got burned on a high changeup to Cabrera, and now a rolling breaking ball yields a double. And it's up to Upton, who has not been moving the bat around real well, to get him over to third.
82 strikeouts this year, top 5 in baseball for Upton. He was 1 for 4 last night with an RBI single in the 6th.
Tigers spent a great deal of money in the offseason. They spent about $150 million on Upton. They spent, I think, $70 on Jordan Zimmerman, thinking that they were just a couple players away from putting this all together. So far, a porous pen has done them in. You remember that when you did your wash a couple of times ago, that porous pen?
If I could have wagered money on what was coming next after you said porous pen.
Well, I mean, it was a nice segue into your heroics with the washer.
To the kids out there that are learning how to do laundry, take the pens out of your pocket before you put the pants in the dryer.
It's not a great look.
It's ink Vesuvius. On the grounded foul from Upton. The thing exploded, though. I mean, it was not just a dab here and a dab there. It was just kaboom.
Well, look, I mean, with pants that are 8-10 years old, you get your use out of them. So you get some others.
Look, the digs at my wardrobe.
No, they're fine. If you like, you know,
bell bottoms,
32 pairs of khaki pants, it's good.
1-2 for Upton. Martinez at second. In the air right field, Avi Garcia sees it bounce fair. That is inside the line. Martinez comes home, and Upton is into second base as Avi Garcia has claimed interference, or that the ball was stuck underneath the padding there. Either way, it's a double for Upton and a 2-2 tie.
It's doubtful if he gets to this one, but Avi is playing very deep in right field. So we'll take a look. It hits on the line. Paul Emmel says yes, indeed, it is a fair ball. And fan making the play in front of Avi.
Excuse me. Oh, it's a Tiger fan, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that a Tigers shirt?
Well, I think he mentioned something like, hey, ZZ Top, get away from the baseball.
2 in for the Tigers. McCann, the batter, the 26-year-old catcher. There should be separate ground rules for home fans and away fans.
I agree with
in
you.
a different ballpark, because the intent is different depending on the person. Don't you think?
I do, and I believe that that should be addressed. And in the meantime, after he scored, J.D. Martinez was talking with the trainer. It looked like there's something wrong with his foot. Tigers can ill afford that, the way J.D. is swinging it.
In the dirt to McCann. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He comes around third base, and could very well be that his foot might have slipped on the wet surface. They already have one Martinez out in Victor. They don't need another one out in JD.
The shortstop, Anderson. Upton was off on contact, and he reaches third with 1 down.
Good piece of base running by Upton, because that ball was hit behind him. Tim stays right with it, makes the play, and now you have the go-ahead run 90 feet away.
You don't get the feeling that 3's going to win it tonight with these two teams and their offenses last night.
Park is too lively, and these guys are swinging it well.
Infield in for Aviles. He yanks it foul. Out of Bronxville, New York, Mike Aviles, former Division II Player of the Year in college baseball, was 0 for 5 last night.
Dave Clark is talking with Upton, and it might be about, he was running on contact with the infield in. If the contact play is on, he was fine. If not, he's telling him, take a look before you go. And by the contact play, if you're at third base, as Dave Clark will come over and talk with him, any contact you're running. And if not, you're going to stay back and then see where the ball goes and see if you actually have a shot at the ball going through.
So as a runner, how are you judging it?
You have to take a look. You have to take a look at the angle. You know where everybody is set up. They're all in at the cut of the grass. And so if it's right at somebody and the contact play isn't on, you can't run. You're already 90 feet away from a run. You don't want to wind up with a second out and a man at first base.
2-1 for Aviles. Into center field, and the Tigers retake the lead. It is 3-2 on the RBI single for Aviles.
That ball on the off-speed pitch, up and out over the plate. So Miguel Gonzalez not locating very well, and that looked like a cutter. Aviles able to line it into center field, driving in just his 4th run of the year.
One on, one out for Romine. You see Victor Martinez on the bench, not starting for the 2nd straight night. They have him and Saltalamacchia on the bench, along with Cameron Maben. We saw Martinez pinch hit yesterday for Aviles. He walked, then Romine pinch ran for him. Romine 2 for 4 career against Gonzalez. who has his only relief appearance this year for the Sox against the Tigers. Saladino to the backhand, whips it to second and gets the out. Laurie was there to claim it. 2 down.
Very good play. This ball slicing down the line. Tyler able to plant, slide, get it there. You only think about one. That could have been some trouble.
Lead runner down. Saladino playing third today with Frazier getting a day off. And here comes Ian Kinsler. 55 runs scored in 63 team games.
You get on at the top. With all of these bangers behind you, you're going to score a few runs. And normally, the top part of the order is well stacked for these Tigers. Their problem, as we saw last night, an adventurous middle relief corps.
That ball's well hit down the left field line and foul. He has tattooed a couple of balls in this series.
Kinsler, one of the most aggressive hitters around, and if you even come close to a mistake, and that cutter from Miguel tonight isn't cutting. The only question is, would it stay fair long enough? And the answer was no. You can see the ball all the way as it slices and hooks in front of the pole. If you lost sight of the baseball, it would have gone around the pole, thus a fair ball.
198 career homers for Ian Kinsler, including a leadoff homer last night. He's down 0-2 against Gonzalez.
Such a great trade for Detroit. We talked about it. Prince Fielder going to Texas, taking a very big contract with him. It opened first base for Miguel Cabrera, which is something they wanted to do, and they got Kinsler on the return, and Kinsler has been just a wonderful player for Detroit.
A guy who asked Alan Trammell if he could wear that number 3 in honor of that middle infield they used to have, with Iglesias wearing number 1, Trammell with 3, and Whitaker wore number 1.
It was a great middle infield, and this is still a very good middle infield, and at times showing flashes of greatness.
1-2. He got him upstairs with a fastball. Kinsler down hunting. Tigers grab 2 on 3 hits. They lead again, 3-2 this time.
Facebook Live Q&A tomorrow from the K-Zone during our broadcast. Just visit CSN Chicago's Facebook page tomorrow at 6 and ask away. We're going to see you then. It's supposed to be, after some early showers, a beautiful evening. And if you wonder what it's like to interact with us on Facebook, well, you'll find out.
Don't we have to delete somebody from your Facebook before that happens, Ohm?
Well, you mean the guy that puts up 10 pictures a day and clogs up my Facebook? Yes.
You speak for everybody in America when you say that, because everybody in this country has somebody that does that very thing. 10 posts a day.
Well, as much as I truly enjoy Facebook, that is somewhat annoying. Because it pops up every now and then.
Well, you can turn off your notifications.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to turn them on.
Well, you successfully did it. Avila, Garcia, and Shuck, the batters. And Alex takes a strike. Two former Tigers. And JB to bat here in the second inning, with the Sox down a run.
Alex has been swinging it pretty well lately, and hopefully that will continue. The outfield playing him straight away, and they're pretty deep all the way around.
Well hit, but right near second base, and one away. Sox fans, our pregame patio parties are the best deal at the ballpark. Patio tickets are all-inclusive. With purchase, you get a game ticket and can enjoy an all-you-can-eat buffet catered by Baseball Buffet, as well as wine and Miller beverages. Patio opens 90 minutes prior to the game and closes 30 minutes after the start of the game. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/group. You can do it right now on your phone.
I should ask them to help me delete that nefarious picture.
One out for Avi Garcia, who was one of the heroes last night. Whether on Facebook or otherwise, you may have seen it. An RBI single with two down in the ninth to tie the game.
Terrific at bat. Worked it to 3-2, fouled off a curveball, and he got a changeup and hit it hard to center field.
That was fun with the curveball for Zimmerman to get ahead 0-2. Check swing ball low, and he held up, says the first base umpire, Paul Emmel.
Looks like Zimmerman, who's recently faced the Sox lineup, is making an adjustment where he threw fastball slider in Detroit. He's gone to a lot of fastball curveballs here, and that's something that when a pitcher faces a team for the second time in a short period of time, he's got to make an adjustment.
Where did you go? Second time, third time, what was the typical adjustment you would make? Was it mental? Was it physical? What was it?
Well, in a 5-day period, I faced the Yankees both in Detroit and then in New York. And where I went to my strength, which was fastball curveball in Baltimore, I went to fastball slider in New York.
Breaking ball to Garcia, strike three. First punch out for Zimmerman.
Reason is fairly simple, is that they had seen me just a short time ago and remembered how I got each and every one of them out. So to try to get them out the same way, especially in Yankee Stadium where they had a lot of pull hitters and a very short porch in right field, I decided to use a cutter and a slider. Don't throw too many curveballs and have them still looking for a pitch they knew was my best pitch. They just didn't see it too often, and so I had to make an adjustment. And if you have a number of pitches and you feel you can control them, it's an easy adjustment to make, as Zimmerman, who's a quality pitcher, is making tonight.
Does that necessarily mean, though, that you withhold certain things the first time you see a team during the season?
No, for me, the first time you give them what you think is going to beat them that time, and the only time you do make an adjustment is if you're seeing them a second time in a short period of time.
Two and one on Shuck, who doubled and scored the winning run in the 12th inning last night.
That double was rifled by Cabrera at first base, got under the glove, into the corner, and then it was execution after that won it. And by execution, a fine bunt by Anderson where he shortened up on it, bunted it right at third base, and that necessitated the drawn in infield. That's what allowed Adam to end it.
Shuck with a fly ball to right field and deep. Martinez is there before it can land. 1-2-3 inning for Jordan Zimmerman, who takes a 1-run lead into the third. Inside the clubhouse here at U.S. Cellular Field, and oh my goodness, what is in that locker? It is a Sox Math t-shirt. Here's our prize shelf today. Here are the lovely prizes you can win playing Sox Math tonight.
We've lost one statue.
Yeah.
Finally, somebody picked it, but we have the Paul Konerko statue. We've got apparently some sunglasses
from a grand opening
with a dog on them.
We have the hat with the newfangled contraption on it.
We do. We have a hat and the ability to open things, obviously, from the 60s before there were pull tops. Very nice.
Retro. Yeah, there's the hat. It's got the metal thing there. You can open a can or a bottle.
It's like a skate adjuster for skaters.
You're going to get Mike Leary nostalgic in the trunk.
Oh, that's true.
Not hockey season anymore. Iglesias takes a called strike. Gonzalez flirting with the edge and got the call. Sox Math top of the fourth inning. We also have that Sox Social t-shirt signed by the White Sox social media team, including the guy who founded your Twitter account.
It was a cast of thousands to sign that. I saw the Brad Boron signature.
What's his atomic number, Brad Boron?
352.
Oh, you did say earlier you're not good with the periodic table.
Not real good. AU is the only thing I know.
2-2 grounded foul, as in somebody yelling out their car window, "Hey, you, are you Steve Stone?"
And all I know is that every time I purchase it, it goes down.
Iglesias doubled and scored in the first inning on the RBI single from Miguel Cabrera against Miguel Gonzalez. Just off the corner.
From a pitching standpoint, that's absolutely one you wanted. From a hitting standpoint, you think it's way away. And Alex Avila is having a conversation with Quinn Wolcott on the location. As long as he doesn't really look back, he can pretty much say what he wants to, as long as he keeps it civil, and he does.
Well, pitch number 3 was called a strike. 6 called a ball on our pitch tracks, and there is ball 4. Not close. So 1 on and nobody out, as these two teams are really bunched up in the standings.
Well, this is why this game is important, as was the game last night, is because Cleveland and Kansas City are playing one another. So if the Sox can beat Detroit, they're going to pick up ground on 2 teams. And Cleveland, as you can see, 2 games up against Kansas City. They lost last night to Kansas City, a familiar script. They fell behind late. And Kansas City's bullpen made it hold up. The stirring comeback by the Sox against Detroit. It's a 3.5 game difference between 1 and 4, with Minnesota vying for the #1 pick in the draft.
And vying pretty well currently. Sox will see the Twins the next homestand. Toronto will be in as well after you all hit the road for Cleveland and Boston.
Right now, Minnesota with a scant 2-game lead over Atlanta for that first pick.
Sox have helped the Twins in that category with a 6-0 record against Minnesota this season.
Minnesota's had so many injuries. They're piling up more lately. Phil Hughes going on the disabled list. Originally, it was Glenn Perkins, their closer. When your quality closer goes on the disabled list, that really turns your bullpen upside down. Everybody has to slot down, and it becomes much more difficult.
Well hit deep right field. Avi Garcia in the corner, and it bounces fair over the wall. Iglesias to third, Cabrera to second. He's trying to track down a ball from the guy that he grew up watching.
Looks like he might have hurt his hand, and I'm not quite sure how, but that ball slicing away from me, can't get to it. Runners at second and third, nobody out. Maybe jammed his wrist on the padded area over there.
He's still grimacing. So Castellanos, who struck out in the first, and tips it foul. Well, Adam Eaton, again, we talked about it. He was historically good in right field the first month and a half of this season, 2 months this season. And with Austin Jackson out, Eaton goes into center field. Avi Garcia is in right. And it changes the complexion of the defense.
Austin out for an indeterminate amount of time with that meniscus tear. You get ahead of Castellanos and throw a high fastball, you're going to get him out. You get behind and throw a low fastball, you've got some problems.
He hit one pretty hard yesterday to center field. A low fastball. The infield back in the middle. It's 1-1. Inside again, 2 balls and a strike. Abreu not all the way back over there at first. About halfway in. Saladino spears it and holds the runner Iglesias. Nifty play by Tyler Saladino.
That ball was down and hit awfully hard, but Tyler Saladino in the early going has had a very good run at third base. This ball looked like it was going to be a one-hopper. Actually took 2 hops. The first one off the grass, the second one off the dirt. And that's a big factor because it's 2 different types of spin, and Iglesias, after being frozen there by Saladino, has to stay there. And now a walk to JD, which is a pretty good plan with first base open. Even though Upton hit a double last time, J.D. Martinez is swinging it too well.
It puts the double play in order by adding the base runner with 1 down. It's ball 3. And ball 4. Martinez is 4 for 7 in the series with 3 doubles, so he is officially bypassed. And here comes Don Cooper.
Coming out to have a word on how they want to attack Justin Upton, who's grounded into 6 double plays this year. Pitches starting to pile up, 57 of them. Not a concern right now. Don will leave him with a positive note. Keep the ball down, get the ground ball, and his infield will turn a pair for you and out of the inning.
Iglesias walked, Cabrera doubled. Castellanos the ground ball to third for the first out, and then the Martinez intentional walk. And here we stand, bases loaded, 1 gone. And the Sox, though they showed last night that they can come back from 7 down, don't want to be back there again.
Go with the bases loaded for Justin Upton. Pretty stout. Knocking at the door of 300. 4 slams.
He calls for time before the first pitch. McCann is on deck, the catcher. 3 batting averages. Upton, McCann, Aviles coming in were 225 and 2 190s. As there's a strike called on Upton. 0-1.
He wants to keep it there. He's going to get a ground ball to the left side. And with Quinn Wolcott calling that a strike, no reason not to go back in there.
Iglesias, Cabrera, Martinez the runners, and Upton calls time for the second time this trip up.
Justin and his brother were the 2 highest drafted brothers ever. First and second player picked in the drafts.
Good hook from Gonzalez, 0-2 to the 3-time All-Star, Justin Upton.
Probably the best curveball that Miguel has thrown tonight. He keeps it low and away. Had a piece of the plate. And no contact from Upton.
82 strikeouts this year for Upton. He's down 0-2 with the bases loaded, 1 down. Outside.
So Justin was the #1 pick of the Arizona Diamondbacks, first player picked in the country, and his brother, who was then BJ, now named Melvin, same guy, drafted #2 by Tampa Bay. Pretty talented family.
At that point, the Devil Rays.
Yep.
A long time ago. 1-2 from Gonzalez. It's a high fastball, came inside, 2-2. What do you have in the bucket for 2-2s, Tony?
Well, I'd back him up with another high fastball, only you want this one over the plate so it's inviting. That one was too far inside. High fastball either swings through it or pops it straight up.
2-2. Just missed. 3-2.
Try to cut her down and just off the corner. He's been awfully close. He was very close to Iglesias, and a couple of pitches could have gone either way. The same thing to Upton.
Can't be a ball here. Tigers would get a run, leading 3-2 in the third.
Upton with just 17 walks and 228 at bats. So he'd like an excuse to swing it.
He is the 6th highest strikeout rate in Major League Baseball, 33.5%. 3-2. He sprays it foul.
Outfield straight away. And Upton with good but not great speed.
Iglesias, Cabrera, and Martinez are on. The bases are loaded. Pitch number 64 of the night from Gonzalez is outside. The Tigers get another.
Second run batted in, the 20th of the year for Justin Upton.
that is the danger of the intentional walk. You wouldn't expect Miguel Gonzalez, whose control has been very good, predominantly.
No, and 3 walks in the inning, including the 1 intentional. But last night, Danish, Jennings, Albers, Jones, Robertson, and Duke out of the bullpen. Robin needs some innings out of Miguel tonight.
Danish was sent out. Michael Inoa is up from AAA Charlotte today. And there's ball 1 to McCann, the catcher. A 6-3 ground out he had the second inning would look mighty nice.
He hit it awfully hard. Fortunately, he hit it to the left of Anderson, who was there to make the play.
In the air right field, Garcia comes in. Cabrera tags. The throw is not on line and safe. It's 5-2. It was a strong throw, but just up the line.
We got a whole lot behind that throw, but it'll go as a sacrifice fly. The 15th driven in by McCann. Maybe 1 extra step before the throw, and unfortunately, no contact with the tag.
Cabrera scores. And the Sox are left with a 5-2 deficit with Mike Aviles standing in. Aviles an RBI single in the second inning. He came in just 1 for 12 career against Gonzalez, but that was a home run. Miguel Gonzalez came through Baltimore, spent a lot of time in the American League East. Through the left side and a base hit. Martinez gets the stop sign as Melky Cabrera has flashed the arm already in this series. And the Tigers didn't want to make the final out of the base path.
No, I think Dave Clark has gotten to the point where they're not going to run, all things being considered, on Melky. So here's an inning where Miguel Gonzalez is going to give up at least 2 runs. And but for one play that could have been made but wasn't, there would most likely be no runs in the inning because the intentional walk wouldn't have happened. With the intentional walk not happening, he probably pitches to Upton in a different fashion. As it worked out, could turn into a big inning for the Tigers. And with the bases loaded, Andrew Romine, who's a very versatile player, has been very good.
Former 5th round pick out of Arizona State, Romine.
What Brad Ausmus and the Tigers really like about him is you can put him anywhere. He's not going to give you a spectacular performance, but he is going to give you a good performance. Tonight in center field, normally he takes over at third base defensively for Castellanos, and we've seen him at first base. He can play anywhere and play it pretty well.
2-0.
And the bullpen's going to start to stir.
.70 pitches through 2 2/3 for Gonzalez tonight.
And you talked about the king-size right-hander that was just recalled, but it's not going to be him.
Three balls, no strikes.
Looks like Matt Perk.
Loosening and with haste.
Yeah, the call has gone down there to get him ready in a hurry, which means that if he doesn't get Romine, you're going to see a trip to the mound by Avila and maybe another infielder.
Strike called on the inside corner. 3-1 to Romine. This is a tough lineup for a lefty to face. The Tigers have no left-handed bats, straight left-handers on the roster. Switch hitters, right-handers, all of them. Fastball fouled off. 3-2 on Romine.
Now the runners will be going. As Romine really hasn't had many opportunities to hit from the right side. By many, I mean 4. This is the 31st from the left, so he's been a defensive specialist. Whole lot of work. 74 forthcoming, 34 this inning.
3-2. Gonzalez has it fouled away. Romine climbed for it. A walk, a double, a ground out, intentional walk, another walk, a sac fly, a single. And batter number 8, Andrew Romine, the 30-year-old for the Tigers. Ball 4. (6-2) Tigers.
Walking in a pair, and Saladino goes to the mound on instructions from the dugout to spend as much time out there as they will allow you. Don Cooper wants to know if Matt Perk is ready. You would think Bobby Thigpen would answer in the affirmative.
Gonzalez will stay for Kinsler. Well, Miguel Gonzalez fighting the control here in the third. Facing now a 2-time 30 home run man, Ian Kinsler. He takes a strike. One in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third for the Tigers. Shot foul, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
There's no doubt that this Tiger team has some deficiencies, but one of them is not an offense. They can bang the baseball. They came in tied for second with Kansas City average-wise, trailing Boston by a huge amount. Now they've scored 300 runs. Only 3 American League teams who've done that.
Still 1-2 for Kinsler. What the Red Sox have done is out of this world. 369 runs, which, by the way, is 169 more runs than last place Atlanta coming into play tonight, nearly doubling the last place team in Major League Baseball. Tigers 294 runs before the 6 tonight. So as you said, the even 300. Sox at 262.
Boston has done it with some home runs, but not an overwhelming amount of home runs.
First base side. And out of play. You got to make that catch.
Miguel Cabrera going, come on over here. Don't worry, I'll protect you. You don't have to worry about falling in the dugout.
That fan who didn't bring the ball in was getting jeered by the locals.
Jeered.
Yeah. That was nice of Miggy.
He is a wonderful competitor and has a joy for the game you don't see all that often.
Iglesias led the inning off with a walk. Bases loaded, 3-2 on Kinsler. Called strike 3. A narrow margin. Kinsler didn't like it. Tigers have to settle for 6-2. June 30th at 1:10 p.m. First 10,000 fans get a free Adam Eaton t-shirt. That one right there, presented by the Village of Bedford Park. Bring your business home to Bedford Park and win big. Purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
We certainly want to tell you the K-Zone has over 1,000 seats. Be there tomorrow. See Jason and I as we take a look at the last pitch. At 3-2, the base is still loaded. And Kinsler gets rung up. And he can't believe it. Justin Upton wants to keep his very talented second baseman in the game.
Well, no matter who shows the restraint, whether it's the teammate or the actual person, the idea is to make sure that the guy sticks around.
Get him out of there quickly. Or
Kinsler,
quickly enough.
Yeah, Kinsler had vigor in his eyes.
He's a very feisty young man.
Saladino looks at strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. You mentioned we'll be out in the K-Zone tomorrow.
Yes.
The weather forecast has improved mightily for us over the past 24 hours.
And if you're out there, K-Zone tickets, you get t-shirts and all the rest. And
Kinsler retaliates with a nice play in the field. 1 down.
having stayed in the game, he decided to make the catch.
Might as well. So here is Anderson. Yeah, we'll be out the K-Zone. Left-hand side here at the ball yard before Chris Sales starts tomorrow night.
You're excited to mingle with Sox fans, aren't you?
Well, actually, they've added a couple more seats.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Ours, I
expecting
think. The
an
extra 2
overflow
seats.
crowd. For those who really enjoyed that Penguin, it will not be in attendance, we understand.
Wait, Phil, the Penguin's not coming?
I don't think so. He wanted too much for an appearance fee.
Who is Phil the Penguin's agent?
It's a good question. I didn't inquire last year as we were hosing him down.
Siegfried and Roy's Cats. 2-1 on Anderson. Tim doubled and scored in the first inning, helped along by Eaton's bunt. Melky Cabrera, a sacrifice fly. The wheels were turning for the Sox, leading 2-1. 2-2.
Zimmerman went to a curveball in the first inning, and Anderson deposited it in left center field.
He tests out right field this time, and it's over the head of J.D. Martinez. Martinez struggles with it. Anderson turns on the Jets. In the third. Save!
So now the question is, and the only question, double E9 or just straight out triple? Martinez last year was in the running for a Gold Glove, and it looks like double E9. Lively bat for Tim Anderson as he drives it over the head of J.D. Martinez, and then when he has some problems picking it up, Anderson taking a look out there, and he sees the bobble, and then he just turns on the Jets and gets in the third easily.
Pedal to the floor for the former basketball point guard Tim Anderson. And Eaton a bunt. Zimmerman comes home, and Anderson's caught in between. Eaton very quickly heads to second, and Anderson tagged out by McCann.
Zimmerman very athletic, and he makes a good play here. Adam wanted to drag it by him, just couldn't get it there, and a heads-up play by Zimmerman. Especially when you're up 6-2, you don't want to concede the run, and then he gets tangled up with McCann, who eventually runs him down. And Adam, in the meantime, watching all this going on, goes to second base.
So, scored 1-2 on the fielder's choice. Eaton in scoring position with 2 down for Abreu. Inside.
We were an eyelash from Oakland.
We weren't.
Now we'll have to wait.
Jose Abreu has hit the ball very well recently. He takes a strike. Close pinch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Multi-hit games in 7 of his last 10 for Abreu.
Time now for our Lowe's home field advantage. And it has been the last 9 home games for Jose Abreu. Hitting a robust .486. Couple of homers, 4 doubles, 7 driven in, and 7 multi-hit games. Throwing some big power to straightaway center and left center. And that one buzzed him up and in.
2-1. Got a swing and a miss. Down and out with a slider. 2-2. Jose mulling it over. Filing it away.
I like Zimmerman's slider better than I like his curveball. He's more familiar with the slider. It's a better pitch for him.
That ball stayed out over the plate, and Abreu fouls it off.
Again, wants it inside. He doesn't get it there. He throws it right down the middle, and fortunately for him, he gets away with it. He's allowed an on-base percentage of .464 with 2 strikes the past 2 starts.
This 2-strike pitch results in a ground ball. Iglesias, the first to retire the side. No harm done after the Anderson double. 6-2 Tigers. Day or anniversary, or even host a business function in a Diamond Suite at a White Sox game. Diamond Suites can accommodate groups from 10 to 100 guests, and single game packages include a great food menu as well as beverages and parking passes. To purchase, visit whitesOx.com/group. Onward to the 4th inning. Miguel Gonzalez pitches ball number 1 to Jose Iglesias, who led off the 3rd with a walk and eventually came around to score. 2-0 from Gonzalez. Well, the hope for Don Cooper and Robin Ventura is that Gonzalez can get him a little bit deeper in this game. And pitch number 85 has got the corner.
If he can pick up some outs here, it's invaluable to that bullpen, which was used extensively last night.
2-2 on Iglesias.
Not only last night, but the last night of the Kansas City series.
Three balls, 2 strikes on Iglesias last night. Shields went 5. The bullpen soaked up 7 innings worth in that final game against Kansas City. Albers, Duke, Putnam, and Danish went for a combined 3. Driven to left field. Melky Cabrera waves for it. And there's out number 1. Met Bryan and Bradley Godish at Ronald McDonald House during Sox Serve Week. This is their question they sent in. Don Cooper's jersey number minus the number of Sox games this season against the Twins. Add the number of Sox players to win the MVP award, players, not number of MVPs, and multiply by Harold Baines' draft selection slot.
I love the fact that Occasionally, we'll take a Sox math question from some of our viewers and fans. It not only is entertaining for them, but lightens your workload.
Well, that's the big consideration.
In the grand scheme of things, yes.
Well, that trip to Ronald McDonald House, Chris Sale went, Matt Perk went, among others. Zach Duke, Matt Latos went on that trip as well prior to his designation, and met the Godich family. They're huge Sox Math fans. That ball is launched by Cabrera on a couple of hops off the wall, and Miguel Cabrera has his third hit of the night. For the big fans, they play every night together, and that's why we took their question here this evening. As Abreu goes to visit with Cabrera, and here comes Robin Ventura.
Well, Miguel just doesn't have it tonight, and so as Matt Perk is going to wend his way into this one, Miguel Cabrera will depart. And as he departs, so will we, and be back after these messages.
Receiver Merck's cheese spread game card, good for savings on delicious Merck's cheese in the deli or dairy case at their local grocer. Watching the White Sox and saving on Merck's cheese. Some fans have all the luck. Purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Time now for the Midas Tire and Auto Service experts called to the pen, and it is Matt Perk. The last time we saw him, it was a 3-inning stint, and he threw it very well. ERA 3.60, on for the 7th time. And he inherits Miguel Cabrera having a banner game so far. He's going to be looking in at Nick Castellanos. Miguel Cabrera looking over at the outfielders to see where they are placed, which is a great thing for a base runner to do.
Castellanos takes a ball that bounces away, and Avila couldn't find it. So Cabrera up to third. Why is that for Miguel Cabrera a good thing to look at the fielders?
Well, Miguel isn't fast anymore, but he is a terrific base runner. And we'll take a look at the wild pitch. If you're out at second base and you know where each and every one of the fielders is, you don't have to look back when the ball is hit. If you know there's a gap in left center, the ball is hit to left center, you just score easily. If you know the right fielder is playing deep and the ball is blooped into right field, you don't have to look back. The best base runners will always check their fielders.
2-0 on Castellanos, who is 0 for 2 with most recently a ground ball to third. Nimble reaction by Avila. 3 balls, no strikes. Well, Perk last night and Putnam were the two left standing in the Sox bullpen. So you would imagine that one of them would be the first man out tonight, and it is Perk. That's in here in the fourth.
Trying to get some outs, keep it within reason. And see if they can somehow touch up Zimmerman and get into that bullpen.
Ball 4 to Castellanos. Tigers have their 5th walk in the last 2 innings and overall tonight. Here is the man who has hit some rockets in this series, J.D. Martinez. All-star last year for the first time. Ball number 1. Tigers got 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third. And they're threatening to put more on the board here in the fourth. Massive cut from Martinez. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And the irony of Martinez coming over after being released from Houston is that the Tigers tried to trade for him. At the time, Houston would not make the deal. Then they just outweighted Houston, released him, and got him for nothing.
Astros were going through that significant rebuild to get to where they are now, and yes, they're 5 under 500 this season, but it seemed like they almost hit the peak. Well, not the peak, but they hit gold in a fantastic year, maybe early for them last season.
And a different management team at the time as far as the manager and the coaches are concerned. So Bo Porter didn't think that the stroke of Martinez was going to support him as a major league hitter. But they released him before they realized that he had reworked his stroke entirely. So Detroit certainly benefits from that.
$17 doubles this year for Martinez, now over a couple seasons deep in Detroit, and that ball is crushed to left field and one hop off the wall. Miguel Cabrera easily coasts home, and the Tigers lead 7-2.
It is unfortunately at this point a doubles extravaganza. 6 of them so far. As Matt Perk falls behind, the Tigers swinging it too well to fall behind, and even though it is outside, J.D. Martinez crushes it. His second double. Miguel Cabrera has 2 doubles. Iglesias with 1 double. Upton with a double.
Of the teams that Matt Perk has faced this year since coming up from Charlotte, Detroit has hit as well as anybody against him. They had that 1 inning, 3 hits, 4 runs 11 days ago at Comerica Park. Ball 1 to Upton.
Don Cooper coming out, and he's going to tell Matt Perk, as he's told so many before him, that you cannot pitch from behind in this league and expect to get away with it.
Well, some days you just don't have your command.
Nope.
How do you rectify that?
Unless you've been around a long time and have a wealth of experience to self-correct, it's very difficult. Most young pitchers can't. On days when they don't have their command, it's going to be a short outing for them. Miguel Gonzalez is not a younger pitcher. He's been around a while. He could not self-correct tonight. So sometimes you're just going to have a bad outing. And this was one of those. 3 1/3, 7 runs on 8 hits.
2 balls, no strikes for Upton. Well, the glimmering light at the end of this tunnel is that the Sox were down 7-2 in this very same position last night.
Unfortunately, they've worked themselves into the same situation here.
Upton adds to it. It gets by Melky Cabrera. Upton is into third. 9-2 Tigers.
Melky looked like he hurt himself. His left hand looked like he might have jammed his finger. As we'll take another look at a sinking line drive. And Melky trying to stop it. It hits his hand on the way to the wall. It goes as a 3-base hit. And a couple driven home. And a 9-2 lead.
Well, Melky came in on the ball last night against Saltalamacchia.
And it missed the glove and did hit his finger on the way on by. Last triple a while ago. Last year, September 13th.
Ball and a strike on McCann, who sacrificed fly to run in the third. That was Cabrera who scored on the sac fly from McCann. Squid foul. Former 2nd-round pick out of Arkansas, James McCann. He was originally a White Sox draft pick. 31st round, 2008. Didn't sign. Went to go play in Fayetteville. And the Tigers got him in the 2nd round 5 years ago.
It's a pretty good catcher.
Upton was off. He scores. And the Tigers are in double figures tonight on the ground out from McCann.
His second driven in, he's got 16. And the Tigers managed to get Justin Upton, who is very much a streaky hitter. If they get him going, this is going to be a much tougher lineup to subdue. If you take a look at the scoreboard, I'm not anxious about next inning.
Oh boy, yeah. This is an SAT question on the scoreboard right now. They've got 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and 4 in the fourth. I'll take answer E. None of the above.
Not a good looking scoreboard to this point. But plenty of time remains in this one.
Baseball being the timeless game as it is. We have learned that over the course of this homestand. What a game last night. And the Tigers have responded very well. Avila's an RBI single to score Upton in the second. He then poked a base hit to left in the third, and here he bats in the fourth with the bases empty and 4 runs in. Laurie getting over. Tigers lead 10-2 after 3.5. They take the lead early in this game, but the Tigers respond in kind and then some.
One thing Don Cooper and Robin wanted tonight desperately was a long outing out of Miguel Gonzalez. And last time he went 6 innings. Tonight, a little more difficult. And I haven't seen 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the first 4 innings in a while, nor have I solved one of these ever.
Really?
Yes, but
You've
you
never
can,
done one?
if you win Sox math, you can have one of these.
You can have the Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's Cube,
Yeah.
yes.
Here's your Sox math answer. Don Cooper's jersey number is 99. 19 games this season against the Twins total. Add 3 Sox players to win the MVP. Multiply by Harold Baines' draft selection slot. That's 1. And this is a phrase you say at your own peril in this town. The answer is 83. First pitch, a strike to Melky. Bradley and Brian Godish, who sent in that question, are both big Sox math fans and Sports Talk Radio fans. Melky to Zimmerman. Pitch and catch. 1 down.
Ryan Zimmerman has proven to be very athletic on the mound tonight. Made a terrific play on the Adam Eaton bunt. Spinning around, coming home. Cut down Tim Anderson.
Here's Brett Lawrie. Hard foul. 0-1.
That's a curious promo.
Yeah.
You're holding in your hot little hand.
Big show coming up on CSN. That's inside on Lawrie, who break dances out of the way.
Not sure how he got out of the way, but he was able to do that.
Two balls and a strike for Lawrie. Jordan Zimmerman, who threw the Nationals' first ever no-hitter, is not the kind of guy you want to be trailing against.
Now he's
Big
pretty
deficit.
tough. He doesn't walk too many people.
Comebacker City, population 1.
Yeah, I don't think they want to try him anymore.
Hey, Thursday night, CSN goes one-on-one with my partner Steve Stone on a brand new edition of Inside Look. He'll share great stories about working with the legendary Harry Carey as you see the wind-blown hair. Your path from the majors to the microphone. You do not want to miss this. Inside Look, Steve Stone, presented by Cadillac, premieres Thursday night at 7 on CSN Chicago. I will be watching, and I'll be texting you updates about yourself.
And we will be flying to Cleveland.
I thought your flight was early.
No, it's not. You are laboring under a misconception.
We need to pull the tape because a couple days ago you said that there was something that you couldn't do that Thursday morning because you had to be at the airport at like 7 a.m.
There's a lot of things I can't do, but one of them is not flying to Cleveland. No, it's later on. It always is later on, and maybe I'll take an ice cream with me if I can. One of your rainbow pops, or whatever you call them.
Rainbow cone.
There you go. I knew it was a fancy name like that. That young man really enjoying his less than rainbow cone, but he's enjoying it nonetheless.
You know, the great news, though, is that we've got rainbow cone coming for us tomorrow. We've been promised up here in the booth, and your lactose intolerance
Allows you
means
to
that
get more.
I get to have
Yes.
most of it. We'll share with Joe and Mike and Frank. Hey, we woke Frank up.
Wow. He's doing good.
2 balls, 2 strikes out of Vila. And time called.
Well, Seattle having a pretty good year, but injuries are starting to plague them. King Felix injured for quite some time with a calf injury, and now Taijuan Walker with an Achilles injury. That's 40% of what was a very good starting rotation. So with King Felix out and now Walker out for an indeterminate amount of time, that's not a real good sign for Seattle, who has put together a pretty nice ball club this year.
Yeah, coming into play tonight, 34-29, 4.5 back of Texas as Avila takes ball 4. The Rangers just had to put Yu Darvish on the DL yesterday again.
He only made, I think, 3 starts since coming back. And
it's only a couple weeks, yeah.
So they came in trailing by the 4.5 games, and it's been over the last 10 with Texas going 7-3, Seattle going 3-7, but now with a decimated starting rotation, they've got some problems. Also the Mets. David Wright, who's disabled, is for the first time contemplating surgery on a herniated disc in his neck. He was having all kinds of problems when we were in New York. That is a big loss for them.
I know Hawk said he talked to him before. I think it was the last game, and he said David wasn't feeling great. Was down about the prospects of at least the foreseeable future health-wise. Javi Garcia punches one up the middle, a base hit, 2 on, 2 out for the Sox here in the 4th.
This is a slider that stays up in the zone, and Avi takes it right back up the middle. Pick up a run or 2 here. You never know what happens, especially if you can get to Zimmerman and get into the pen, something Brad Ausmus does not want to do tonight.
Ball high. And if you were to get a couple runs here, that little birdie starts to roll around in the back of the Tigers' mind and starts chirping, uh-oh, here we go again, after last night's comeback from the Sox from 7-0 down.
Sox know that feeling well. After all, there was Kansas City.
It's outside, 2-0 on Shuck.
So after a game where the Sox were in control in every one of those games, only to see it dissolve, they know as well as anybody, you get a couple. It starts with a couple.
J.B. Shuck, the line drive to right. And the wave around for Avila. Throw to third. Gets away. Shuck on his way to second. The Sox are back on the board. It's 10-3, second and third.
Interesting base running in that Alex Avila was held up at third, and Avi was heading to third, meaning Avila then really had to come home. JB hits a daylights out of this as Zimmerman gets a fastball up. It is going to be E5 as Kinsler gets it to third base. He gets it there in plenty of time to get Avi, but the ball gets away.
So give Shuck the RBI for scoring Avila. Second and third, 2 down. And Saladino with a chance here in the 4th. Stuffs it over the inside corner or thereabouts. Zimmerman does. Strike 1. It's been a pitcher favorable strike zone tonight, don't you think?
I think so, but you'd never know it by the amount of walks that Miguel had tonight, because normally he's got very good control.
Yeah, there were a couple pitches that he'd like to have called strikes, but overall, ball and a strike now on Saladino.
Base hit here makes things a lot more interesting.
Center field, Romine was deep, and the Sox get a pair on the Saladino base hit. It's 10-5. Don't go anywhere.
With Romine back, and again bearing in mind that he's not really a center fielder, he wouldn't have had much of a shot at this, but Tyler Saladino driving in runs 15 and 16. And just like that, what looked to be very comfortable suddenly is not all that comfortable. Romine comes on, cannot stop it from falling. He would have no chance. And the one thing you notice about this inning, with more consistent at-bats, J.B. Shuck is hitting the ball better and better. And last year, he was very much a factor. This year, off to a very slow start, got sent to the minor leagues. But now, with the injury to Austin Jackson, J.B. is getting an opportunity to swing the bat with consistency, and he's really making the most of it. So if you were indeed thinking about going out for a rainbow cone, put the keys down, sit down, watch it for a bit.
Ball one to Anderson, who's doubled twice against Zimmerman. What a wild series this has been.
Pitchers in danger.
Ball to strike for Anderson. 3 of his 5 major league hits have been doubles.
And he's shown a pretty lively bat. At this stage, and he's still a very young hitter, he's hitting line drives. We've seen more than a time or two. Line drive hitters early turn into home run hitters as they mature.
Ball at 2 strikes. Even the balls he hit into the double plays against Kansas City, the first one was struck very well.
The one thing you can't teach is a lively bat. You either have one of those or you don't. Some guys hit the ball hard. The ball just doesn't have, as they call it today, exit velocity. You look at Todd Steverson, the hitting coach. He's got a whole ball of talent to work with in Tim Anderson. And exit velocity will get you base hits instead of ground balls.
Got under this one. Kinsler scoots over to make the play. But the Sox grab 3 runs on 3 hits. Shuck an RBI. Saladino with 2. It's 10-5 after 4 tonight. watching on TV cable of Rensselaer, Indiana. TV cable. Sounds high-powered.
Well, they would have nothing less than that at Rensselaer.
10-5. Sox trailing top of the 5th tonight as Romine stands in against Perk, and there's ball 1. Cleveland, by the way, is leading Kansas City in the bottom of the 6th at Kauffman Stadium. 2-1 your score. Indians leading the Central by 2 over Kansas City, 3 ahead of Detroit, and 3.5 on the Sox as play began today. Sox will be in Cleveland over the weekend, then to Boston.
With the unenviable task of playing the Red Sox at Fenway.
We haven't sussed this out. Where's your favorite road stadium?
Well, I really loved the ballpark at Amarillo, especially with the stockyards over the left field wall. And when the wind blew in, whew, was a delight. Did we go there this year?
It is not an available city in the majors. Romine, a bounding ball single. He has been on twice tonight. Of the current Major League Baseball stadiums,
Well, the one I like the best is one we don't visit this year, which is Dodger Stadium, because of all the memories there. The one I had success, although it was frightful to pitch here, was Fenway Park. Beautiful ballpark. I like to pitch inside. A right-hander cannot live pitching away in that ballpark, so that was nice. Where else do we go?
would you like me to list the Major League teams for you?
No, I like the stadium in Cleveland because you don't get a lot of crowd noise, so it doesn't distract you.
Back in the day you did.
Back in the day, well, it was cavernous in the old Municipal Stadium. The brand new stadium is awfully nice. But the Indians are getting better. Not as entertaining to go there these days.
Runners off, Avila's throw. Quick tag, Laurie lays it down on Romine.
And lately, Alex Avila's doing just about everything right. And that time, Romine thought he'd go on first move. Good pitch to throw. In the dirt and a face full of mitt. How about that? Coming to try to steal this? I don't think so.
Oh my goodness.
Have one of that in the jowls.
He might have been safe.
Well, I think so. It just cost him a face burger, but yes.
Well, safe in the rule sense. Unsafe in the CompuBox has Laurie in round 6 sense.
Pretty tough for a middle infielder on a short hop to keep the glove down long enough. And we'll just have to see if there is clear and compelling proof, clear and compensatory proof. He actually looks fair to partly safe to me.
On that look, there may be a question of whether or not the glove glided over the top of the hand before it came in on the back. Do you agree? Mike Leary, our producer, agrees.
He does.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a possibility.
I hope that he has friends in high places in New York.
Watch the glove as it comes over the hand.
Okay, does he get him?
Top of the hand.
Sleight of hand.
Legerdemain.
We'll see.
Safe.
Yes. Well, no.
So for everybody keeping score in pen, please keep track of your whiteout. Stolen base for Romine.
Second stolen base of the year.
Upstairs, ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 to Kinsler. Popped it up foul and arching out of play.
Time now for the mini Let's Motor player profile. And that profile is on Ian Kinsler. 11th season, acquired from Texas for Prince Fielder, 4-time All-Star, almost 1,600 hits, almost 200 home runs, almost 1,000 runs. Been a great career for Ian Kinsler, Tucson's own.
17th round pick in 2003. Pert coaxes a swing and miss for the 3rd strikeout tonight for Kinsler. You look at the numbers he's put up. Fewest games played to reach 200 homers, 1,000 runs, 200 stolen bases in his major league career, and he's just shy of it in game number 1442. That is very select company.
Well, you take a look at the names on there, you're not kidding. 2 Giants at the top, Willie Mays, Bobby Bonds, a couple of teammates of mine. Of course, I was 12 when I played with Willie, but
I was going to say, did they know that you were their teammate?
barely. Willie was of the mind, spent a few years here and I'll talk to you. No, he was actually a pretty good guy. Willie McCovey was one of the best. Now wheelchair bound.
Did I read that he was on the field
Yes.
for David Ortiz
Yes, he was.
coming through? Yeah.
Willie's knees just gave out, and I think he's been in a wheelchair for quite some time. Just a wonderfully delightful man, and now a meeting at the mound, and everybody out there.
What's your most memorable meeting at the mound?
Ray Miller running to the mound with nobody out, the 2nd inning of a game that was, at the time, nothing happening at all. And he ran out, said, I have a message from your fielders. Throw the ball, they're falling asleep. And so I thought if I hasten my delivery of the baseball, things would work out well.
Ball to strike to Iglesias. Time. That is not pitch number 3. CSN Pitch Tracks presented by Toyota. There you go. Thank you.
Oh, you snuck that in there. Very nice.
I hope Pitch Tracks is okay. That was a little snarky to it. So your fielders were falling asleep.
Well, I was working very slowly when I got there.
Yeah.
And they impressed upon me their desire to see me work more quickly.
Two balls and a strike on Iglesias, who scored twice tonight.
And I found out it's much easier to keep your rhythm if you get the baseball, have a pretty good idea what you're going to do, and then just throw it. Also, they stay much more alert behind you and are able to make better plays.
Three balls and a strike on Iglesias. Say you're holding for a while. You're holding the ball for a while on the mound. What's going through your mind, actually? What are you thinking about when you're holding the ball?
Sometimes you're doing it for effect. Sometimes you just want to hold it to disrupt the base runner. Sometimes you want to hold it to try to disrupt the timing of the hitter. Sometimes you want to force him to call timeout and step out.
3-2.
It really depends, but you just don't want to make a habit of it. because it just slows things down too much. And there's a man that you never really want to face, especially tonight.
This is the 25th pitch of the night to Iglesias. And he hits it to his countryman, Abreu, for out number 2. Romine to third. It's a lot of pitches to see it. 4 trips to the plate for Iglesias, who at one point was a really free swinger.
Yep.
On his way up through the Red Sox organization.
Also had a surprisingly good year with the bat last year. I mean, they always knew he could field. Didn't expect him to hit 300. And now prudence dictates that you put Cabrera on instead of watching him hit another double.
Who's she?
You remember her, don't you?
She's always got the splits in front of her.
And this one says the big man is swinging it too well tonight.
Yeah, you might look at Cabrera's numbers and say, well, he's only hitting 172 against lefties, but Castellanos has similar splits. He's at 203 against lefties, 339 against right-handed pitching. And that guy is a 10-time All-Star that's being bypassed. First and third, 2 down. Castellanos walked and scored last inning. Sox, by the way, have the most recent 3 runs in this game, with 3 in the home 4th. Castellanos, who grew up a big Miguel Cabrera fan in the Miami area, fouls this one to the right side.
Pretty hard not to be if you were a baseball fan from 2003 forward, because although they had a very good baseball team starting in 1998 and then certainly a wonderful team in 2003, starting in 2003, Miggy was a big part of it.
Breaking ball in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike to Castellanos. It's game 2 of the series. Sox won the opener in comeback fashion, 10-9. They will need at least 10 to tie tonight. Burke got the final 2 outs of the 4th inning. After the Tigers picked up 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 4 in the fourth. He swings up and out for it. Castellanos now 2-2.
It's out of the strike zone and it is up. That's normally good to Castellanos.
Two and 2 from Perk. Avila got a glove on it, and that keeps Romine at third. Cabrera takes off for second on a wild pitch.
I'm surprised Alex got a glove on it. This is well high and away. He was able to save the run, but not the 90 feet.
Romine had a notion.
And then wisely for him, decided to stay there. Keep the at bat alive.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Perk to Castellanos. Tigers a game over 500. Sox even mark, 32 up, 32 down, entering play this evening. A long road ahead in this one. 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning for Perk. He got Kinsler and Castellanos, and the offense is back at it, bottom 5. Game report, Subaru postgame live, coming your way when we are through. But you get the feeling that this one is still in the balance. 10-5 Tigers. They led 10-2, and it's Eaton, Abreu, and Cabrera coming up against the Wisconsin native Jordan Zimmermann.
Nice inning for Matt Perk to get out of. He closed it with a really sharp breaking ball.
Like that one, strike 1 to Adam Eaton, who twice has bunted, once on and once for an out. That out was on Tim Anderson, who was caught in a rundown.
With the first White Sox run, E-Quick Lending has donated $100 to the Pat Tillman Foundation, supporting military veterans and their families, and it took a bunt and an error to get it done. Tim Anderson scampers across the plate. Back when all was beautiful.
Eaton on 2 strikes. Tags this up the alleyway. This could be 3. Eaton is on the gas pedal around second base. He's heading to third, and there's no throw. Adam Eaton, a leadoff triple in the 5th for the Sox.
Normally they play Adam Eaton with a gap in right center field, and he was able to take that breaking ball away and hit it into the gap. McCann wants it out there. It's a curveball, and the curveball has not served Zimmermann well tonight. So Adam Eaton off to the races. Triple number 6. The play in front of him. He just keeps on going.
So, with Eaton at third, Abreu, Cabrera, and Laurier scheduled. There's ball 1 to Jose Abreu.
That's a total of 4 hits in 6 at-bats. Or 1 and 2 in the revamped batting order. And they're going to concede the run. The infield is back. Downstairs, 2 balls, no strikes on Abreu. We pan around, we'll show you the defense, and you'll see on anything hit, especially the short and second, Adams going to score easily.
Right field, Martinez. And Abreu is the owner of the shiny new sacrifice fly. 10-6 here in the fifth.
RBI number 38. He gets a fastball right down the middle. And Jose with his 6th sacrifice fly, leading the team by a wide margin in that department. So now the top 2 have scored 3 times.
As we said earlier, that's a portion of the lineup that you wouldn't imagine would change for quite a while.
No, I certainly wouldn't think so. You got 2 guys very comfortable in what they're doing. Because Anderson was a leadoff hitter in the minor leagues, and Adam Eaton doing just about everything right for quite some time, and now he's starting to heat it up with the bat again.
Iglesias with a second out on that sac fly. Abreu now is tied for the major league lead in that category with Milwaukee's Chris Carter and the Nationals' Bryce Harper. 6 sac flies. Melky had one earlier tonight as well. What do you think about the leadoff triple sac fly offense? It'll get you a run most times.
I think it's a good plan. And it's nice to see that Jose, when he's gotten the opportunity, is driving them home.
What is going on in there, though?
Well,
Jose making
good
friends with the new guy.
Yeah.
Here today, gone tomorrow.
Little bonus noogies for Tim Anderson.
2 strikes on Laurie. The Sox have got to have the most outrageous dugout in Major League Baseball.
They still continue to have a lot of fun, and that's what Jose Abreu was telling his teammates about staying together during that really dark span of 6 and 20. He's saying more than ever, you stay together now as we stayed together when it was 23 and 10.
Pop foul back toward us. And short.
And he said something pretty interesting, and something that is quite true and always will be in baseball and in life. You tell a whole lot about a person and a player when things are going poorly. When things are going well, it's pretty easy to be a good winner and ride the momentum. When things are going badly, character then is even more important. And I think Jose has shown that since he stepped into a major league uniform. I have to assume that he showed it in Cuba.
Popped up. McCann had to circle around Laurie and makes the play. Sox get a run on the triple sac fly combo. It's 10-6 after 5.
Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. And it's Ichiro Suzuki. Major League hits, close to 3,000. Hits in Japan, 1,278. Combined, 4,255. Pete Rose has 4,256, and there's a lot of people, Jordan, that figures what Pete Rose said.
Yeah, Pete doesn't really like the addition going on there. It sounds like in Japan they're trying to make me the hit queen. I'm not trying to take anything away from Ichiro. He's had a Hall of Fame career, but the next thing you know, they'll be counting his high school hits. Pete doesn't like the idea that the major league hits don't stand alone and that international hits would be added to the total to challenge his hit total. So what do you think?
As much as I've disagreed with almost everything Pete Rose has said, both as a player and as a retired player, this time I believe that he happens to be right. He is the Major League Hit King because he got all of those hits here. And there are professional players in Mexico. There are professional players that play in the winter leagues in Puerto Rico and in Venezuela and in the Dominican Republic. So you can't count hits everywhere.
Center field and over the head of Eaton. A hop over the Emerald Club and a leadoff double for J.D. Martinez.
That's 3 doubles tonight. And there hasn't been one that's been hit softly as he crushes this ball. J.D. is heating it up. And there's a souvenir. And the little fan is enthralled with a souvenir that she never thought she would get.
And the boy says, "You got it."
You got it.
How nice.
I'll buy it for a rainbow cone.
I'd bargain for 3 or 4 rainbow cones, to be honest. Martinez has 3 doubles in the game. 19 total.
Now look at that. I mean, that's really nice. And she shares it, says, here's a baseball. Now give it back to me, or I'm going to be bitter, really bitter. What do you think? Do I get to keep this? No.
The ball 1 to Upton. And on that 3-double game, it is his first
Ever. Well, swinging the bat like this, he's going to probably have a few more. He is as locked in as we've seen him. He had 3 hits last night, including 2 doubles in 3 at-bats. The first 3 at-bats.
Upton goes fishing for strike 1. No, it's his 9th multi-double game for his career. J.D. Martinez. First one came in 2011. Two and 2.
You know, you read Pete Rose's quote, but are you of the same feeling, or do you have a different idea about combining hit totals from wherever you might have played?
It's the major league hit number. It's as simple as that. I mean, why is there even an argument?
I believe that Ichiro has been great, and if he gets to Pete Rose's total in this country, then you give him the hit king, but he's not getting there. He's just, you know, he's at the tail end of what has been a wonderful career, a Hall of Fame in both countries, and that should be enough.
Yeah, it's nothing against what Ichiro did anywhere. The number we're talking about is major league hit king.
That's it.
It's easy. You total them all up, and then you have the guy who's first.
Whoever has the most is the guy.
Yeah. Anderson for the out. You ever wanted the chance to enjoy a picnic in the outfield of U.S. Cellular Field? Or meet 2016 White Sox team members and talk to White Sox alumni? Steve?
Of course.
Oh, now's your chance. Join us Saturday, June 25th for Picnic in the Park. All proceeds benefit White Sox charities. To purchase tickets, visit whitesoxcharities.org.
Taking the ball game. Toronto's going to be in town. Unfortunately, they're really hitting the baseball these days.
They ruined a debut today. The Blue Jays did. Aaron Eflin. Zach Eflin. He's a pitcher for the Phillies. That's if Aaron Nola and Zach Eflin combined, they'd make Aaron Eflin. Zach Eflin was knocked around by the Blue Jays today.
11 runs on 14 hits. For the boys from north of the border. Meanwhile, it shouldn't be lost that Tim Anderson made a great play on the last play. A short hop rocket up the middle, and he ran right at Martinez to freeze him at second base, waited until he was literally standing on the bag, and then gunned down Upton at first. It was a pretty big effort. Pen up and going, and it's Michael Inoa who was just recalled. Tyler Danish was sent down. Inoa back up.
We saw Inoa earlier this year very briefly. He did not pitch in a game. Fouled back. Sox got him in that deal that involved Josh Fegley, Chris Bassett, Jeff Samardzija, Marcus Semien a couple Decembers ago.
Big deal. Give you an idea how good McCann has been defensively. Set a major league record at catcher by starting his career with 139 consecutive errorless games, which is a difficult thing to do behind the plate.
A lot of opportunities, a lot of different plays that can lead you to an error.
Yeah, you're having to make a lot of throws to various spaces. You're trying to pick off some runners, throw out base stealers. So that's very impressive. And he's driven in a couple of runs tonight without the benefit of a hit.
Strike three. Pert got him on the outside half. McCann goes down looking.
Good breaking ball. And it has the whole plate. A little windy here tonight.
Yeah, I believe you have a story about wind, right? You wanted to tell?
Oh, that's
a couple days ago.
We'll
Two down.
We'll have to deal with that
here in the sixth.
Long in the future when we have more time and the game is moving along a little more slowly.
Smart call. Perk against Aviles for a strike. Tigers now 41 runs in this, the fifth game this season against the Sox. Fouled away by Aviles.
In yesterday's game, a man who has hurt the Sox during the course of his career was held down, but not so tonight. A couple of hits and a run driven in.
Strike 3. And that'll do it. Tigers with the lead.
Join us for a special broadcast from the K-Zone right here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field as Chris Sale takes the mound against Detroit. White Sox Tigers live from the K-Zone, and it is at the K-Zone. Come out at 7 on CSN.
I hear we're going to have food at the K-Zone tomorrow.
We're going to have culinary delight.
Bountiful.
I know what you want, and that is exactly what I want. I want a 2-foot hot dog with a foot and a half of mustard. I do not want it overlapping the edges.
You don't?
No.
Why? The mustard on the bun is very tasty.
Yes, but a foot and a half of mustard is quite enough. And there's a fan who could use some help, none of which would be sugar laden.
You're talking about dancing videos, right?
Well, he's got his glove, and he is certainly ready to go. That is the fan equivalent of Brett Lawrie.
He wasn't screaming, "Let's go," over and over again. Here's Avila for strike 1. Alex walked and scored in the 4th. J.B. Shuck an RBI single to bring home Alex Avila, the former Tiger. This has not been the most buttoned up Jordan Zimmermann performance, but he still has the Tigers in the lead into the 6th.
Well, he is very vulnerable tonight, so a run or two here, and things will be looking pretty good.
A lot of offensive pomp and circumstance in this series, wouldn't you say?
I would say she has to be a very happy young woman, because anytime you can graduate from anywhere, you have to be ecstatic. For a while, no more tests.
One-two is inside. Is it that you move the tassel from left to right once you've officially graduated? Is that right?
Well, not being an expert in tasselology, I'm not exactly sure where you move it. I just remember when I did have it, my parents believed in miracles for the first time. They didn't see the parting of the Red Sea, but they knew it existed because they didn't think I'd ever get out of high school.
Oh, now that's not true.
No, true. It is true. Yes, it was.
Will we hear about that with David Kaplan on Thursday night at 7?
I don't know if he got into that or not, but I didn't come into my own as a student till, just a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah? You taking some night classes?
Yes, the night shift.
Yeah. 3-2 for Avila. Swinging strike 3, 1 down. We're going to test you right now. It's time for Sticks and Stone, America's fastest growing sensation. How did you do against Tom Brookins?
Well, I certainly loved his mustache.
Saladino-esque.
I would hope that I did okay. Another right-hand hitter with an unusual stance, as I recall. I know the Tigers gave me all kinds of problems. I was able to manage to beat them one time in my career. And in the Brookins era, I'm not certain I beat them at all. So I'll say I did okay. And it could be subject to change when I see it if I'm wrong.
Is that how that works?
Well, it does, yeah, if he did well.
Former first-round pick of the Tigers, Tom Brookins.
When I faced the Tigers the first time around as a White Sox pitcher, they had the biggest team I've ever seen.
Just like large dudes.
People. Frank Howard, Gates Brown, Ike Brown, Bill Freehan, Earl Wilson. I mean, monstrous guys. Willie Horton. Yeah, so we predetermined that if there was a fight with them, we would all run away and let some of the bigger White Sox players take care of those guys.
Avi Garcia goes upstairs to slash one to center field. A two-strike base hit with one out.
Second hit of the night for Avi. You see where McCann wants it. He wants it upstairs, and Zimmerman threw it there. But Avi, strong enough to dump it into center field and then pop Biggie's balloon.
J.B. Shuck takes inside. The Tigers conserving that bullpen tonight after a long night for the relief corps yesterday. Parnell down to AAA. Wilson pitched, Green pitched, Rodriguez, then Sanchez.
And Sanchez looked to me like he was slated to go a long way. But defeat entered into the equation.
Type of long man that can be very useful in an extra inning game.
Wasn't their plan when they got Sanchez, but that's what it's turned into.
Ball fades outside on Zimmerman. 2-1 for J.B. Shuck, who singled and drove in a run in the fourth and scored as well. Waiver claim of the Sox a couple of years ago. J.B. Shuck. Zimmerman has coursed a couple swings off that breaking ball this inning.
That one a pretty good one because it was there and then JB just barely got a piece of the top of the baseball.
Two and two to Shuck. Checked it up. Way upstairs. 3 balls, 2 strikes with Saladino on deck. And the Sox still holding on to 11 outs, trailing by 4. They were down 10-2 after 3.5. And you have to imagine if they force some more adrenaline from the Tigers after last night, it wouldn't be a bad situation to be in.
That's why now each and every at bat you pick up a walk here, base hit there, and the Detroit bullpen, Hardy and Wilson getting loosened up. We did not see Hardy last night. We did see Wilson, however. We haven't seen the left-handed Wilson. We saw the right-handed Wilson.
That's Justin Wilson you speak of.
He's a pretty good one. He threw very well against us in Detroit.
3-2. He got him swinging. Garcia is out. Today marks the U.S. Army's 241st birthday. USAA honors those who have served in the U.S. Army and all of our service members around the world. At U.S. Cellular Field, it's accessible from the 100, 300, and 500 levels. Young Sox fans can learn baseball from White Sox Training Academy coaches. Don't miss the batting and pitching cages, base running areas, and be sure to check out the latest Xfinity technology, including the X1 platform. X1 by Xfinity, it will change the way you experience TV. And a young man who's experiencing baseball a different way, Steve.
We've got a very tall right-hander coming in, and you see 3 games in Double-A. Those are the games at Charlotte. 1-3 is ERA. 4.56. Making his major league debut. A highly touted sign with the Oakland Athletics.
His first batter faced is Andrew Romine, who is 1 for 2. Inoa up from first place AAA Charlotte. Saladino. There's out number 1 in the career of Michael Inoa. And you know, when a guy comes up from the minor leagues, how you learn about him is newfangled technology in that dugout.
I believe they're seeing that he's tall. I'm sure that's on there.
That's the takeaway?
Yes.
Boy, it's a big guy. 1 down for Ian Kinsler, who struck out 3 times tonight. Michael Inoa, in his minor league career coming into this season, was a lake monster, a snapper, a port, and a dash.
I like the lake monsters.
Until they go after your boat. 95 and a swing and a miss for Kinsler.
Jason told you about that trade with Oakland. He was a highly touted prospect when originally signed by Oakland, then had some arm problems.
He only pitched in 28 games last year because of shoulder issues with Class A Winston-Salem.
He has a kind of an arm where you would take a chance on him, hoping that if he did come back 100%, things might work out well.
2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio in the minors before this year. Just missed inside. 3-1 to Kinsler. Good placement. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
There is a spot to be had in that bullpen, and that's not lost on Michael Inoa or anybody that happens to come up trying to impress. And he's got a good arm. That's not a debatable issue.
Came up earlier this year when Adam Eaton was on the paternity list and did not pitch. Line foul. Jose Iglesias will bat in the inning. 1 down, base is empty. Tigers leading 10-6, but the Sox have the last 4 runs after trailing 10-2. Another foul ball for Kinsler.
Well, Cleveland leading all the way at Kansas City has now fallen behind 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. And normally it's hello Wade Davis.
Hello darkness. Called strike 3. And Kinsler, after being punched out on a borderline 3rd strike earlier, has some words for the plate umpire Wolcott.
This one actually had the plate. Yes, it's upstairs, but he's not looking slider there, and Alex Avila took it down about as far as he could. So that's a 4-bagger for Ian Kinsler. 4 strikeouts, evenly divided, 2 swinging, 2 called.
The Sombrero store is open.
0 for 5 overall.
That said, he has had a magnificent 2016. Tonight has not been his night. 2 out for Iglesias. Ball slicing in.
That was a good pitch.
Two balls, no strikes on Iglesias. Sox used Matt Pert for 2 2/3. Then Inoa in his first major league game, seeking a 1-2-3 inning. A little bit low. 3 balls, no strikes. Sox in the home 7th will have Saladino, Anderson, and Eaton scheduled. Got a hit with 1 out in the 6th, and a strike him out, throw him out double play finished the inning. Right down the pike, 3-1. Pretty calm demeanor for Inoa.
I think at this point of his career, he's been around long enough where he knows this is his shot. The arm is good enough. Can he harness his control? And that one did not have the plate.
Let's find out how you did against Tom Brookins. Sticks and stone tonight. Okay.
A home run. 3 for 9. Wow. No wonder he was a #1 draft pick.
You're saying retroactively he was the #1 pick because of what he did to you?
Absolutely. I would
there may have
scout him.
been logic.
I would scout him, saying he was okay. The Tigers really wore me out as a group. It was sad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You okay?
Well,
You struggle doing Sox-Tigers games?
they seem to acquire every guy I had trouble with. If I had trouble with him in the National League, he wound up a Tiger in the American League when I moved over there.
Like who?
Johnny Grubb
Yeah.
had, I think, fairly big problems with him. Broke up a no-hitter of mine with a bunt.
That's a fly ball to left field. Melky Cabrera As out number 3. We will debate the merits of Ben Davis breaking up Kurt Schilling's no-hitter with a bunt at some point later. 10-6 Tigers. We're down 10-2. They were up 2-1. It has been a game of runs tonight, as the Sox will have Saladino, Anderson, and Eaton coming up. And our crack research team was on the case regarding the teams that you had good experiences with and not so good experiences with in your major league career. The fly ball right-hand side. Martinez runs out of room. You were on the mark when it came to the Tigers. You had a 6.37 ERA against Detroit. That is tied for your 3rd worst against any team. If you had to guess, who did you have the highest ERA against of all teams you ever faced?
The Pottstown Firebirds.
They were a very talented crew. It was Minnesota. 701.
Wow. And that's when that was high. Nowadays, they'd get a raise.
What about the lowest ERA? What do you think? Who'd you pitch best against overall as a team? Saladino, flare to left. Upton started back and now hauls it in. Round number 1.
I really don't know.
I know it's a pop quiz. It's not fair. Although we do it every night in the 6th inning.
Not on the team aspect of it.
You had a 197 ERA against one team. They were in the National League.
Atlanta?
The Montreal Expos. You were very good against Atlanta, too. 291. Yeah.
Atlanta had some guys who could hit.
Anderson, bouncing ball foul.
This is really nice. Did you send away to like Elias or Statcast or?
It's just a guy named Elias.
He's pretty smart.
He
I can
loves
see
math.
all those stats there. This
According
is a great,
to Stats Inc.
This is a great invention. Anderson's had a very good night. And missed one down the middle there. Good chance for another base hit. And with the bullpen up and going, if Zimmerman has any problems at all, he will probably depart this one, although he's into the 7th. Just about to deliver pitch 104.
Cabrera Has enough space. See your name in lights at an upcoming White Sox game. Celebrate a birthday, anniversary, and more with a scoreboard message. Proceeds benefit White Sox charities. To book your message, visit whitesox.com/scoreboard. That is a beautiful new scoreboard with the digital pinwheels. What would your scoreboard message be?
Good question. I haven't thought of that either. Along with my ERA against the Montreal Expos, I would probably say hello. And we do something pretty nice with eClick lending.
Yeah.
With the veterans, the donation, eClick lending to the veterans. Maybe thank them for their service. Would probably be a good one.
It's a wonderful sentiment.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of us who did not serve might take it for granted at times. It's good to remind those people that we do appreciate them.
Just reading a story earlier this week about the smaller percentage of Americans in service and how difficult it is for the veterans to reacclimate. 10-6 after 7 tonight. Martinez with a 3-double night for the Tigers.
Our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and there's been 7 doubles, and these two guys have 5 of them. Miggy with a pair, JD with not only 3 tonight, but 2 last night.
Second inning for Michael Inoa in his major league debut.
Threw it pretty well in the first inning.
The 24-year-old out of the Dominican Republic. It's a foul ball from Castellanos. Full name Michael Jose Inoa Ventura. Don't forget, we will be outside tomorrow with you, the fan, if you're here.
And the weather is supposed to be beautiful.
Dan Jennings getting loose.
He's throwing it actually toward the K zone.
Well, in the direction of, not at them.
No, not at them. You know, they're adding some seats here also tomorrow.
For us.
Well, not necessarily. 2 for us,
We have
but
to
I mean,
stand?
the fans are actually going to have it. That's the challenge of the K zone, is standing up through the entire game.
Is that true?
You didn't know that?
I'm new to this.
Yeah, you'll love it.
1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Do you just sign autographs all game long? Is that how that goes?
Actually, it's great to be able to talk to the fans because between innings, they do come up. We do sign some autographs for them, take some pictures. Last year, I think Krusty the Clown came up to visit.
Is that true?
No.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Inoa with his second major league strikeout. It comes of Castellanos. They may have special guests
I think so.
during the ball game. This guy has been a thorny out tonight.
He's had a good, brief series so far. 6 hits. Not a one that I can recall a cheapie. So Kansas City has elected not to close with Wade Davis, but to close with Soria, who's in a bit of a jam. 2 on, 2 out.
Still 3-2.
It's still 3-2. And when everybody is chasing Cleveland, you'd like Kansas City to hold on.
Although you've played a number of games already with Kansas City, you have more left with Cleveland, so you would control your own destiny more thoroughly with Cleveland, would be the counter argument to that.
True. And, you know, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, or neither here nor there.
Or both. 3-1 on Martinez. Well, I mean, it speaks to, as a fan, you're watching Cleveland and Kansas City play, and you say, I don't want either of them to win. I hope they both lose.
Well, you'd like them to go about 19 innings and decimate their bullpens and then tire them out for a while.
Ball 4 on Martinez, who has reached base 5 times tonight. It's a big day in baseball history, Steve. You know that?
Every day is. What happened years ago today?
1870. The Red Stockings' 130-game win streak ended. They were good.
Boy, they were hot.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about a rotation that'll shut you
It
down.
was a good year.
81 of those games were official. 49 were exhibitions.
I have to get a book to you if I never get back. It's one of the great.
If you never get the book back?
No. I will get it back because I know where you live, but the book is tremendously entertaining about a guy who was transported back to the Cincinnati Red Stockings of yesteryear.
Was he on that team?
He turned out to be. And it's an outstanding book, a work of fiction, but an outstanding book because it tells you what baseball was many years ago and how it was originally played and how vastly it differs from what we're seeing today.
Could catch the ball on one hop and have it be an out.
Yes, it could.
Among other rules.
I just thought it was unusual for a pitcher not to be able to throw anything above waist high. I'm talking about, so everybody was a side armor in baseball in those days.
A lot of Tommy John surgery.
Before, you're right.
Melky Cabrera, out number 2. Also this day in baseball history, back in 2009, Mark Burley did a lot of things in a Sox uniform, and this was one of the most unexpected in Milwaukee. The home run on June 14th. 7 years ago.
Very happy teammates and a very happy Mark Buehrle.
Last home run by a Sox pitcher, although Matt Albers.
He came close.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be an inside the park home run for a second.
Did you?
Yeah. Until he pulled up a touch short at second base.
I was talking to Matt about that at the clubhouse before the game. He said, yeah, I played a little bit of third base, a very little bit of third base, but I was really always a pitcher. Eaton with a final out of the top of the 8th. Sox are still in it, down 4, 6 outs to go. Especially you at home.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what Chuck's got in store. New pitcher for the Tigers.
And for the second night in a row, it's Alex Wilson who comes on for the 24th time. We saw him for an inning and 2/3 last night. Gave up a hit, struck out 1. They were scoreless. ZRA 444. There you look at the numbers. And right-handers have hit him substantially.
Abreu is one of those right-handers, and he takes ball number 1. Well, we discussed it at length yesterday. The Tigers bullpen has scuffled this season with an ERA at 4.29 entering tonight. Zimmerman got him through 7. On the ground and off the glove of Aviles at third.
And he's hurt. That ball hit him off the glove, and it looked like he rolled over his wrist. So even though it's heavily taped, he is in pain.
He doesn't want to know.
We'll take another look as he moves quickly to his left. This is a rocket. Hits off the glove and then he rolls over the wrist. And he's going to leave the game. we could see some instant swelling, and they're going to take a look at that.
So that necessitates a lot of shifting for the Tigers, because really the only playable position man on the bench is Cameron Maben. Victor Martinez has not started the first 2 games of this series. Saltalamacchia is the 3rd man on the bench. So Romine is going to come in from the outfield and play 3rd for the Tigers. You mentioned it earlier. He's one of those plug-and-play guys you like to have.
Yeah, and he comes in defensively at 3rd base anyway. So Maben goes to center. Romine moves to 3rd. There's Cameron Maben, his first action of the night. And Melky coming up.
Runner on, nobody out. Strike 1 to Melky. So off the Abreu single, Sox trying to build a rally against Wilson. Left center field, and Upton.
Sox fans, show your team pride with White Sox checking, an official White Sox MasterCard debit card, only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC. That ball hard hit, but with Upton playing in the gap, that ball sliced right to him.
1 out, 1 on for Laurie, who's nothing for 3 tonight. With the events that happened over the weekend, that's a little close to home for Brett Laurie, who 4 years ago, when he was playing for the Blue Jays, was in the Eaton Center Mall when there was gunfire inside the mall. He was in the food court about 2 minutes before it happened. It's a ball low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Abreu at first, 1 down here in the 8th.
A couple of very talented, very large 3rd basemen. First baseman. One used to be a 3rd baseman.
And the other may have been at some point. Laurie right field, and foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Soria did pick up the win, and because Wade Davis had been used 3 games in a row, Ned Yost kept them in, and they defeated Cleveland 3-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Laurie. Abreu at first, 1 out. So with that Kansas City win, the Royals are a game back of first as they jockey for a position in the Central in what seems like a season-long race. Fouled away again by Laurie.
Some difficulties for Cleveland this year because Brian Shaw, who normally is a very dependable and very good setup man, having a tough time. Not only the 0-3 record, that can happen depending on where you happen to be throwing, and sometimes it's luck, but the .568 ERA. He's used to having earned run averages below 3.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Iglesias backs up on it, feeds Kinsler. Oh, he got him. 6-4-3 on the double play, and we will see if a challenge comes.
I think they're probably going to want to take a look at that. You got nothing to lose at this point by having him take a look. We'll take another look at it. No, he's safe. This inning is going to stay alive. So Brett Laurie, who left to his own devices, would challenge everything this time. Looked like he hustled down there, and the hustle kept the inning alive. Very easy to not go 100% down the line. He's not built that way.
Brett Laurie is always moving. And he's not going to have to move from first here. He's going to be safe. There you go.
Here it is in real time. It looked in real time like he beat it out. Paul Emmel said he got him. Turned out the guys in New York said no, and the inning does stay alive.
Quick word with Emmel from Laurie. Hey, I understand sometimes you miss one. Basically the conversation.
No harm, no foul. We get a review process.
That's what replay's for. Alex Avila with 2 out. And Laurie on takes a strike from Alex Wilson. This game has leveled off some. The Sox got 3 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th, but have not scored since, and nobody scored since the 5th inning. Massive shift on to the pull side on the ground for Avila. Nothing in 2.
Well, you're going to see a whole lot of baseball games without seeing 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and 4 in the 4th, as the Tigers did in the first 4 innings. There you see 1, 2, 3, and 4.
You worked on your numbers.
With a lot of goose eggs after that.
3 errors on the board for the visitors. Strikeout on Avila. Wilson meanders through the 8th. 10-6 to the 9th.
schedule brought to you by Travel Wisconsin. You can plan your fun today at travelwisconsin.com, and it's the finale of a series in the homestand with that game against the Tigers tomorrow. Don't know that if you know that we'll be in the K-Zone. And then it's on to Cleveland for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the Tribe. Then on to Boston. But that is the upcoming schedule, and upcoming in this schedule is Dan Jennings. On for the 24th time. 2-1, ERA 186. Congratulations to Michael and Noah. 2 innings of scoreless baseball with a couple of walks and a couple of strikeouts in his major league debut.
There's 3 relievers used by the Sox tonight after 3 1/3 from the starter Gonzalez. What do you think of it, Noah, after a couple innings?
Good enough stuff. You chalk the 2 walks to debut, maybe nerves, but certainly good enough stuff. A couple of strikeouts in 2 innings. You have to like what you saw in the bullpen.
Pert came in, got ambushed, but after the first few hitters, he got them some innings. The Sox
2 2/3, and when you're looking for a little bullpen help with Gonzalez going just 3 1/3 innings, Burke and Anoa did a good enough job.
Flip to right. Base hit from Maben on 2 strikes.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and the 4th inning pretty much has put it away. And no surprise, it's a J.D. Martinez double plating Cabrera. And then Justin Upton with a ball that got by Melky. He's credited with a triple, and then McCann with a ground ball. He drives in a run, a 4-run 4th with 3 hits. And that is the difference in this game.
See, we call it our Miller moment, but that was many moments. It's like many ceremonial first pitches.
It is Miller moments.
But you tease it as one. I feel like we should call the Better Business Bureau.
False advertising?
Yeah.
Oh. See, actually,
you're pointing at your paper, but
actually what it is it's the Miller moment.
Mom NT.
Yeah, and so with the moment, we take it to moments.
So you're ad-libbing that.
They have to.
Yeah.
Because MOMNT, last I looked, was not a word.
You're more than welcome to ad-lib.
Thanks. MOMNT.
Well, your Xfinity replay is missing some vowels too.
It's missing an E.
Our producer Mike LRY says stop making fun of him. How can you be more than welcome, by the way? This conversation's in honor of the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm that's coming out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm excited.
Big news. Bunt fouled away. 0-2 with Maben at first. Romine pressed into duty at third base tonight with the injury to Aviles.
Even in his season series against our ball club, has not hit the ball overly hard, but seems to have a whole lot of hits. See, the thing is, if you continue to make fun of Mike Leary's spelling, he will turn off your microphone. That's the disadvantage that you have.
He doesn't. That's Doug's job down in audio.
But
Mike Leary doesn't know how to turn off the microphone.
You're talking about the captain of the ship.
You could take away my food from the Bertucci boys. which would be a punishment in itself.
True.
They do a wonderful job.
These last 2 nights, we could have used a bit more of that from Bobby Bertucci.
Giant sack of food night.
And Bruno and Handsome Anthony.
Two strikes on Romine from Jennings. And in the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tomorrow's game will be right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Chris Sale scheduled to pitch. We will be out in the K zone.
That one got a piece of Avila, and Quinn Wolcott is going out there to say, I'm going to give you the baseball, Dan. I don't really have to be here, but I'd like Alex to be able to comfortably get in position again. That hit him right in the right forearm.
A battered catcher over the course of his career. Alex Avila.
Let's take another look at the toughest position in baseball. Yikes. That doesn't feel good.
Saladino, Laurie, Abreu got the bag, double play.
Good job of Brett Laurie coming across the bag after the throw by Tyler. And he gets him by a full step at first.
Double play for Kinsler. Bases clear, 2 out.
He's a man desperately looking for contact.
4 strikeouts tonight after a 2 for 5 last night, including a leadoff home run. The son of a prison warden, Ian Kinsler. Base hit for Kinsler up the alleyway. He's going to test it for 3. Thrown to third. He's saved. Kinsler with a triple.
Second triple of the night. Upton had one in the 4th inning. And Adam Eaton gets it back in, but the third base not in time, as Kinsler with very good speed on the bag.
Triple for Kinsler. Iglesias the batter. He's been on 3 times tonight. Double 2 walks for Jose Iglesias.
For the game tonight, in the food area back there, saw a former teammate of mine named John Zigmund, who was here with Dr. Jack Ruby. They played basketball together in the 5-5 and under league.
Jack Ruby is one of your great friends.
He is.
And the things you say about the dentist.
Well, he was very young in those days.
When he was 5'5"?
Yeah.
Ball and a strike on Iglesias. 1-2.
Wow, it's gotten windy up here.
Sure has. Lost paperweight night in the booth.
It's going everywhere.
Joe Grube's binoculars are going to fly away if he doesn't put him in that box he's holding.
Some storms coming in, but they will be out in plenty of time for you and I in the K zone tomorrow night.
Tip foul. We are not the intended K recipients. We're not the ones meant to be struck out.
True. Chris Sale going to the mound in the third, what's shaping up to be final and rubber game of the series, unless a miraculous comeback is forthcoming.
Pelfrey versus Sale in that game. 1-2 on Iglesias. Abreu decides to play tag and wins against Iglesias.
I think he wants an appeal. The question is, will he get one? Jose decides to take it himself as Dan Jennings has to get out of the way. And, well,
what do you think?
The other angle was a better angle. And it's awfully close. Watch it again from this angle. Doesn't look like you got him from that angle. Did it look like you got him to you?
I don't know.
To me, like he escaped the tag.
I think he's safe.
Yeah, so am I, and so we will see. For Iglesias, that would be his second hit and first run batted in.
It's tough play real time for an umpire. Bodies everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, call on the field, he was out.
Well, we do get the Beatles one more time with Let It Be tonight. The Hope. Let's see. As New York speaks words of wisdom to our umpiring crew. There will be an answer
here pretty soon.
Get a job as the guy holding the equipment there? What do you think?
That's actually a pretty good job.
Safe.
He is safe. So ball overturned and another run.
One minute 36 seconds total elapsed time on the review, and the Tigers get an RBI for Iglesias. After last night's comeback, Tigers got to be pretty happy to put at least one more on the board.
Iglesias did a nice job of avoiding the tag. That's really the only time you should be diving headfirst into first base.
For the kids watching, why not? Why not when you're running down the line?
Well, number one, you get there faster running. Although there are some people who believe that you can get there faster with a headfirst dive. My feeling is if you could do that, Usain Bolt would be diving to win a race in the Olympics or in an international meet. He doesn't dive, he runs through the tape, just as you should run through the bag. Also, it's very dangerous. We've seen a lot of guys getting hurt every which way. Hand, wrist, elbow, occasionally a shoulder problem. And Bob Rosenberg has called it a base hit, run batted in as it should have been.
right field. Cabrera sits it down. Iglesias to third.
So Cabrera having a big night, gets a high slider. His 4th hit of the night, a couple of doubles, a couple of singles.
Two on, two out, 9th inning. Castellanos, who is hitless tonight. Some loud contact.
He's a big, strong guy. One fan had to tip off the glove, and no souvenir for you.
It's too bad. The bat signal has brought that gentleman to the ballpark, Commissioner Gordon. Abreu. Tip of the cap from Cabrera and a smile. Sox need 5. 7, 8, 9 coming up. Garcia, Shuck, and Saladino on the way.
Unbeaten streak to 3 as they visit the Colorado Rapids. Coverage begins at 7:30 on CSN+.
Can you give me soccer tickets?
I can.
You can?
Yeah. You get to Colorado?
Sure.
I'll be more than happy. I got a guy there who knows a guy.
You're more than happy?
I think knows a guy. I was happy, but I would be more than happy as you take a look at Mark Lowe, who is really struggling this year. He was supposed to be the setup man. The ERA up over 8 and a 1-3 record. On for the 24th time.
Well, the Sox led this game 2-1, but the Tigers stormed back with 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 4 in the fourth.
That'll usually get it done.
Sox got 4 in a row. Tigers picked up a run. There's a strike from Lowe to Avi Garcia, who's 2 for 3 in the game and has 3 hits in the series.
Tomorrow, the finale of this 9-game homestand.
And the Sox will be off to Cleveland and Boston.
Boston was taken out of first place by Baltimore tonight. Very quietly, Chris Tillman is 9-1.
Upton in left squeezes the first out of the home ninth. That's a fun race too. We've been focusing significantly on the Central for good reason, but the Orioles and Red Sox came in a dead heat tonight.
And they've been leapfrogging one another, but you can't take your eyes off Toronto. They're now 36-31. So although they are 5 back in the loss column, just 3 back overall.
Yankees were 5.5 behind. Tampa 6.5 as play started tonight. Ball to strike on Shuck. As we told you off the top of this series, the Tigers will come into your ballpark and they will hit the ball. And they have done that the first 2 games of this series with 20 runs on the board.
Todd Frazier getting the night off. Robin hoping maybe taking a look at one. And get his bat back. He always missed his glove in the lineup.
Shuck goes down to get it. And a 1-out single, maybe a double for Shuck. It is.
Talked about JB hitting it better, and here's an example of it. This is a fastball down, able to just flick it into right center field, and with the play in front of him, decides why wait at first base. It's going to be an off-balance throw, and it doesn't get there in time.
How about Iglesias going down with the glove on the shoe?
Yeah,
see if he was off.
Just in case.
Poking around. Now Saladino to ball inside from Lowe. Control has been an issue at points in his career for Mark Lowe. This year, 10 walks and 17 strikeouts. Topped foul, 1 ball, 1 strike. And Joe McEwing makes a friend through Dan Jennings. Ball and a strike from Lowe. In the dirt, 2-1 for Saladino. Fifth-round pick out of the University of Texas at Arlington, Mark Lowe. Drafted in 2004. Driven to left field by Saladino, and it is gone.
A 2-run homer. His fourth home run. He's driven in 4 runs tonight.
And with that, a home run, another generous donation from the Alex Snellius family in loving memory of Ursula.
This ball up in the zone. And Tyler Saladino, the Renaissance man, hits it way out of the ballpark. 4 big runs driven in.
It's a career high 4 RBIs, as you said, for Saladino.
Big night for Tyler. He's also had a very good night defensively. And Rich Doobie comes out. Tigers have got to find something with Mark Lowe, because it has not been the kind of year that they envisioned when they brought him over.
By the way, that shatters Saladino's previous career high RBI number of 3 from just a couple of weeks ago against Kansas City. Tim Anderson, 1 out, 3-run game. Ball 1.
Anderson's job to get on base, pure and simple. And with that in mind, he might be taking a strike. And Tiger bullpen, Green and Rodriguez. Rodriguez currently getting ready by squatting, and Green is throwing.
Anderson back bends on strike 1. Iglesias is over there and has the second out of this 9th inning. Final out to play with for the Sox tonight. Mark Lowe has already broken a sweat.
Such a big difference that one seemingly inconsequential run in the 9th inning.
It's not a play.
But with a 3-run lead instead of a 2-run lead, takes a few things out of the equation.
Such as?
Well, you know, if you put one man on, you're going to bring a potential home run hitter to the plate, and that's going to be the tying run. Late runs just so important. Add-on runs that you can get 7th, 8th, or 9th inning. In this case, it was the 9th inning. As Adam tries to keep it alive for Jose Abreu.
Sox were up 2-1. Tigers rattled off 9 in a row. Sox came back. It's 11-8, and that will do it. Lowe cinches it up with a testy but final 9th inning. And the Tigers even the series at 1.
One of those nights where you have enough as far as the offense to win, but Miguel Gonzalez had a very tough outing. And then it was a bullpen night once again. Detroit evens the series at 1 with the finale tomorrow. And I will see you, I'm not sure I mentioned it, but we'll be in the K-Zone.
We will. I will see you out there with bells on. For our director, Jim Angio, producer Mike Leary, associate producer Dave Ross, tech manager Mark Harper, the executive producer Jim Corno Jr., he is Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti saying so long on behalf of our entire crew from U.S. Cellular Field. Coming up next, Subaru Postgame Live with Chuck and Bill. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Good night.